That makes sense. Standing 10 feet from a router. It was the internet that informed me that I was late to my own party. I don't understand how. What do you mean can't connect to the internet? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? That's insane. So now you get to get ready with me because we have to go shopping today. I completely forgot we were doing this. Isn't that fun? Oh, I don't think so. Why would there be somebody at the door? Huh?
Oh, are you at the front door? Okay. I have to call the National Non-Emergency line. The other day, I got a text saying I had a traffic violation. That's a scam. I know, but now I'm getting another text saying that if the fine remains unpaid by March 20th, the following measures will be taken.
No, just ignore it.
I'm gonna call the non-emergency line anyway. Last time
Mm. Oh my god. Hi guys. Oh thank God. Hello. Hey, so I totally forgot I told her I'm doing live stream today, so you're off the hook for a little while. Go read. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Have you been busy?
Oh, I have been sick and out of my mind with the flu. Like literally.
Oh no.
I forgot what day it
Well, that
was. And
sucks.
like he doesn't have school today for no reason. Oh, spring break. Spring break is next
Oh
week.
shoot.
But he doesn't have school today because why would we want to do that?
Right?
A what?
My kid's on spring break, so
Say again?
my kid's on spring break right
Yeah.
now, so he's upstairs.
Okay.
So
That was this week for you guys?
yeah. And next week too.
2 weeks? Nice.
Yeah. Well, in Canada they just give so big holidays, like so much. They not do much at school
Wow.
lately. Oh, I know.
Why is that?
They're just not. I don't know. The school systems. I've talked about this.
Yeah.
Fucked up for a while. I just don't think they want to teach. They just don't want to put
Oh my
any
goodness.
resources in.
I mean, I just learned about something that apparently has been going on in this country for my entire life. So I didn't I was taught to read with phonics, and apparently that's not something everyone has, like, not everybody was taught to read, basically. Like, I did not know about this until literally this morning. So,
Really?
right now, yes. So right now I would believe just about anything.
They
Because,
don't use phonics?
yeah, there's a
I don't know.
whole,
I taught my kid to read, so I don't know how they're teaching it in school. He probably wouldn't be able to read if he was left to the school.
I mean, again,
To be
yeah,
perfectly frank.
same. I taught them both little words when they're like toddlers because they want to learn at that age, like 2 or 3. They're super
Also,
interested.
did you read stories to your kids and just
Yeah.
have them be curious enough to want to be able to read the books themselves?
Right. I don't know why reading to them works. I know it does, and so I always
It
have.
helps. Well,
I'm
they
not
see the
sure
words
how.
and then the phonics, and then they want to be able to do it themselves because they're all wanting to be grown ups or whatever when they're small, and they want to do what you do, right?
Right, exactly. They're all so curious about those strange symbols when they're like 2 and 3 years old. So why you wouldn't just go ahead and teach them the little words? I don't know. Oh, hi. That's pretty good.
Hello?
Hello.
That was a nice start. I'm already getting
That was.
yeah. Lollies? That would be good because zero lollies.
That is. I like it. That's so. Yeah. Get out.
Oh,
Get out. Go read. You're supposed to be out reading. Go.
lovely.
Yeah. Speaking of which, he reads at like a sixth grade level, but getting him to actually focus on it is like pulling teeth. Owen, I will take your screen privileges away.
Yeah, we've always me and my kid like he's a very proficient reader because like we've always read together, even like when he was like a little bit older,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, make him watch Pan's Labyrinth and reading subtitles, things like that.
Yeah, we do that occasionally too. Watch foreign films in other languages with subtitles. Yeah. But yeah, apparently there was some kind of. I mean, you can't blame the boomers for this one because I looked into this a little bit, and the two people who were behind pushing it were actually both born in the 20s, and the guy who apparently invented it is from the 19th century. But um, this idea that kids just need to learn to read by recognizing words, the way you learn to speak by recognizing words with your ears.
Yeah, that's just no. I
That's
don't.
not
I
how that
don't buy
works.
that. That's just a way for people not to have to worry about trying to teach kids.
Thank you. Thank you. And like
Hi,
this took
Morgan
off in the
Johnson.
60s. Hello, Morgan Johnson. Like
Yeah,
this took off in the 60s, though, right? So it's very hippie coded, and it's just.
yeah. Sounds like it does sound a hippie coded sort of like
And it just,
thought
it
process.
reminds me of an older theory that I've always had, which is that, the boomers are like at a nadir of society. It's not all their fault. They were very. Are you there?
I am now. Jesus. Hopefully
Okay.
this is not
Like
going to keep going.
they were very captured. They existed in this perfect storm, if you will, of just propaganda and disintegration of other things in civilization and anyway, and this is an example of that because these two people came up with this idea. They were not boomers. They were theoretically old enough to know better, but they were proposing this idea that kids essentially learn by osmosis. That you don't need to have teaching protocols. Like they will just absorb it. Like
No, that's not how. Wait, yeah, because okay, for one, that's not true.
No.
Or else people like in the past, in all of the different civilizations that existed, the people of the lower caste didn't know how to read. They never just picked it up. So what are you talking about?
To say nothing
all the
of
evidence out there supports that your theory is complete bullshit.
Hey, Alpha Vasquez. Yeah, it's very annoying. It's very aggravating. This is a ridiculous idea, and not to mention, like were this the case, we would all be multilingual as well.
Exactly. I can't speak any other language or shit.
Right. No, not to mention read it. Right.
Right.
Yeah. So they're just, and apparently over the last 40 years, since the year I was born was the year that it was introduced in New Zealand and then transferred over here, and over the last 40 some odd years has become pretty standard. And I'm like, I missed that entirely. I've lived in this country my whole life. I was not taught to read this way. My kids were not taught to read this way. I've never heard of this.
I was never taught to read this
so
way
bizarre to me. And apparently this is a battle that's been going on all along this whole time.
I think the main reason is just for people not to have to put in any resources to actually teach children and education.
I think it's not only are they lazy and they don't want to teach, but I really think it is an ego problem on the part of the person, like of the teacher. Okay, because the first thing you have to do.
I think it's more about resources. Like they don't want to have to actually put in money.
No. God, what do you mean they don't want to have to put in money? I don't know about up there. I don't know about up there, but our school systems around here just eat money.
No, that's what I'm saying. They don't want the like because at least in Canada, public schools are
Right. Right. Oh, were you not supposed to be a black screen?
what is with my signal today? Jesus
Are you not
Christ.
supposed to be a black screen? Because you are a black screen, but that's you often
Yeah,
are a
no,
black
well, I will
screen.
undo that here. But as I was saying,
Okay.
no, I'm not talking about. Of course, they take money, but the thing is, who actually? How do they have any money?
From the
The
taxes.
government, well, at least in Canada, the government helps support the public education system. They
Right.
don't want to put in money. They don't want to They don't want to invest money in that. So they rely on corporate sponsorships, and that's what.
Oh.
And a lot of fundraising from parents, even though our tax money should be helping to support educational systems, but the government wants to line their own pockets, so they don't want to invest in money.
Yeah, I
They
don't.
just want a population smart enough to control the machines, and that's it.
Yeah, no, I understand why our overlords don't want us educated. I just
Yeah.
wasn't aware of this particular form of
Neither was
sabotage
I.
until literally this morning. And apparently, this has been going on in the school system that I went through and my kids have gone through this whole time.
I'm not too surprised though. Like the way that they've even tried saying they've changed grading systems is bullshit.
Yeah, they know
At least up here.
they tried to do that. There's several changes they've tried to institute around here over the last 10 years. They've watched them, they roll them out, and then they roll them back a couple years later because nobody likes it. I guess I don't know.
Well, it's stupid. It's like they're like, oh, we don't want to give graded marks because like we shouldn't have to grade. It's like, okay, yeah, but that's not what you're doing. You're not specifically focused and on for each individual child and where they're at, and need to give out grade marks because it's not about grading because they don't need to, because it's not collective, right? But because they're getting such specialized care, you're not doing that. All you're doing is take away the marks, but you're still putting in efficiency, proficiency, and then there's other ones that are there's 4 levels, so there's still levels.
Right now,
You're
and
just
it's
not
so confusing. It's like they don't want to hurt the child's feelings, but then you just end up confusing them because they don't know if they did well or not.
Yeah, but you're still grading them. You're just not letting them know.
Right? Yeah.
Because it's still in 4 grade, because there's 4 grades to it.
Right. So instead of growing up with your feelings being
proficient,
hurt,
satisfactory, these are ABCs.
yeah, right.
It's
So
the
instead
same
of
thing.
right, so instead of growing up with your feelings being hurt, you grow up with this strange, gnawing sense of dread because you just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and confusion. You're just
Yeah. I guess I don't know.
You're learning how to gaslight them somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. No, and that's oh my god. So, but this understanding of what's happened to the United States as far as reading has is really just still rolling in with me right now, because I'm just like that explains a lot. That explains a lot. That explains a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah. There's a reason why a lot of kids are not learning how to read properly, and why they can't read, why they're still graduating them.
Yeah, and I just you know how what and I just wonder what think tank funded that shit. It's got to be one of them, right?
Yeah. Well, like I
Because
said before,
they put forth this education philosopher and that PhD, and you're like, okay, there's a couple people who wrote these books and whatever, but who published these books? Who funded their research? I haven't got into look into all of that yet.
Yeah, see, it's all corporate sponsored. You should see some of the shit that I remember when he was in elementary school, and I'm like, this just seems. I'm like, this is just seems like a propagated advertisement from oil company, because they were talking about all the Alberta funded fucking homework because of the pipelines and the tar sands and all that, talking about how important it is and where would you like a pipeline. And it's like, oh my God. And how important it is, and like it's like no, like because they don't want to put in money. The government wants to take the taxes that we give them and keep and line their pockets, and so that they can become even more rich, and then so they rely on and spend little as they can, like as they can do, and then have the schools rely on corporate donations. Of course, if corporations are doing the donations, they're doing it for a reason. They don't just give money away; they invest money into their projects. That's why they don't want an actual intelligent populace. So hence why you take all the stuff that's actually about learning away, and you strip it down to its bare essential point that schools actually always been propped up on, which is propaganda.
Well, and propaganda is just what you assume is already true from the beginning. Like what you were saying about the oil. Where would you like your pipeline? Not our pipeline's good or not.
Yeah, what is a pipeline? Like, what's the point? Like, what's the yeah, they don't. Everything's stripped to its bare basics. Yeah. That it's like just lazy propaganda that's so obvious even nowadays, because like there's almost like no need to try to even hide that, because all the parents are just so fucking busy trying to like keep meals and at the table and like a roof over the head that they don't really have time to, and they can easily defer to like the school system without realizing the school system doesn't really teach kids anything important.
See, that's frightening, and
Yeah, it is frightening.
that's what I was hearing about. It was. I saw something about during the pandemic. It was people actually sat down next to their kids while they were taking their lessons and went, wait a minute,
Right.
Well, I'll tell you about it later. Get off the camera. Because I'm not using your cuteness for clout. I refuse to do that. Go away. Because that's what it would be.
I put my screen up and thing on to today.
All right.
This is my cat who I forced to like move and sleep next to.
Oh, she looks so beleaguered. I can tell.
Yeah, it's a cute.
Such a tormented soul right there. Yeah.
Oh yes.
So yeah, I'm just gonna be.
She's just part of it right now.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna be slowly getting ready to go, I guess, because we do have to go shopping whenever this is done. So.
Okay, so I should then get my.
Take your time. Shit,
so I was like, okay, well, I better.
I didn't hear any of that.
What?
Sorry. You were breaking up. I didn't hear any of that.
Oh shit!
Sounded funny though.
No, I was just saying I had it set up, but then I took it off because I wasn't too sure if I was going to hear from you, right?
Oh yeah.
Because
My bad. I'm sorry.
Changed it, right? Because we didn't really get into it because we got into talking, and then that troll came by, and then we were like.
No, I remember. It's just been I've had to remember I was sick last week, and I thought I was on the mend, and no, not really.
I'm just gonna give me a sec here.
You're good. I had a couple of days this week where like my brain never did turn on. You ever have one of those days where it's like the part of your brain where all your interesting thoughts live is just not coming on today? So I guess I'm just gonna sit here and be bored and like.
Yeah. Well, I've been actually really busy this week, though.
I hope to be busy next week. I hope.
Well, I've been busy because of just getting everything done to get like everything kind of thrown together for like my business, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a business account now, and I just been approved for wholesale at this wholesale store, so I can get some things for a lot more cheaper.
Oh, okay. Like
I had
your pearls and beads and stuff.
Go through an application or whatever.
Yeah.
And I did it before, and I got denied. But
Oh,
then
jeez.
I reapplied again, and I was hold on.
So that's exciting. You got your supplies.
Hmm?
That's exciting. Exciting. You got your access to your supplies. It's good.
Yeah, so I got that. I'm looking now into getting carrier shipping figured out, and then I gotta go with certain like e-payments and stuff like Signal or whatever. I don't do PayPal. I'm against PayPal. No one should use PayPal if you can, because it they've taken money from people that have political leaning. Like they took all the money from the gray zone for a bit because they were supporting Palestine.
Nice.
So they stripped them from all their funds and stuff like that. And same with Mint Press News. They've done the same thing like that. So they're very, very politically motivated into trying to control information for the population by like stealing their money, basically, right? And shutting them down. So yeah,
What a wonderful time we live
fuck PayPal.
in. Anyway, so can you turn it like 45 degrees again? Sideways.
I can't. I don't have enough room to do it like that. Really, I just don't. This is
Okay.
just the chapter names, anyways, right?
Okay.
So it's not too big of a deal. But yeah, I can't. It'll take me a lot longer try to figure out the size by doing it turned around because it's obviously on a stand thing. My
Okay.
camera. Okay, so we're going to go over Techno-Feudalism by Yanis Varoufakis, Greek guy, a Greek guy. I don't know how good this is, but we shall see.
It sounds relevant for sure.
It sounds relevant for definitely sure.
Yeah.
I just don't know how radical the guy is. I have pretty radical politics, so he might be still pro-capitalist. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, that would give you the opportunity to educate, right?
Yeah,
That's all.
because we can always have discussions afterwards. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to put that out there because I know that with the other readings we did, I read those, so I had a good
Right.
understanding of what the
Well, listen,
purpose of that
please
and
feel
what they're.
free to interrupt him and notate as you see fit, like.
All right. That sounds like a plan because I might do that anyways, whether you like it or
Please,
not. If it
no,
really
please feel free to
grinds
do
my
that.
gears.
This is our discussion, not some reading group of his book, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We lead. So yeah, so we're just gonna go through the first chapter, which is titled Hesiod's Lament. I guess it's a Greek poet, I think, the guy, Hesiod. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Nice.
So we're just going to do the introduction and then Father's Friends, a child's introduction to historical materialism, From Heat to Light, a most peculiar introduction to capitalism, an equally odd introduction to money, Free to Choose or Free to Lose, and Father's Question. So whatever that means. I have not read it, so it's just going to
Let's
be
find
new
out.
to me and this
Whee!
to you. And I'm just going to
All
plug my.
right. I'm just going to be slowly getting ready to go, I guess. I'll interrupt you.
I just gotta plug my phone in before it dies.
No.
It's gonna die. Hold on here.
And of course, I will interrupt you as I see fit. So. But otherwise, I'll be muted in case of random background noise. Oh, yeah. You go. I'll let you know if I can't hear
Just
you.
like now. I just
Yeah,
said make
like
sure,
that.
especially if I go offline for a second with my stupid signal. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
Can you see me? Should I Could I like wave at you like this or something if I'm
Well, I
muted? Would
won't
that
see
work?
you.
You won't see me? Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I'll yell
Um.
at you.
Yeah, just yell. Hesiod laments. Okay. My father was the only lefty I know who failed to understand why calling Maggie Thatcher the Iron Lady was somehow derogatory, and it must have been the only child raised to believe that gold was iron's poorer cousin. My catechism in iron's magical qualities began in the winter of 1966, which I recall as a bitterly cold one. In their haste to leave behind the cramped rented apartment where we were staying, while our home in Paleo Feli Falriro or whatever, a coastal Athenian suburb, was being rebuilt, my parents moved us back into the not quite completed house in the midst of winter before any central heating had been installed. Thankfully, Dad had insisted that our new living room feature a decent red brick fireplace. It was there in front of its warm glow that over the course of several winter nights he introduced me, one at a time, to his friends, as he called them. And then father's friends. His friends arrived in a large gray sack that he brought home one evening from the factory, the steel plant in Elias's, where he would work as a chemical engineer for 6 decades. They were mightily unimpressive. Some looked like shapeless rocks, lumps of ore, as I was to learn later. Others were equally uninspiring rods and metal plates of various shapes. If it weren't for the loving manner in which he laid out each one of them on a folded white, hand embroidered tablecloth in front of the fireplace, I would never have thought of them as special. Tin was the first friend he introduced me to. After giving me a piece to hold to feel its softness, he placed it in an iron bowl, which he then rested on the roaring fire. As the tin began to melt and the metallic liquid filled up with the bowl, Dad's eyes lit up. All that is solid melts into liquid and then, giving enough heat, turns into steam. Even metals. Once he was confident I had appreciated the great transition from solid to liquid state, together we poured the liquid tin into a mold, immersed it in water to cool it down, and then broke the mold open so that I could, once again, take the tin in my hands and, to ascertain that our friend was back to normal, that it had been returned to its initial state. The following night, we experimented with another friend, a longish rod made of bronze. This time there was no great transition. The bronze's melting temperature is at least 5 times that of tin. Still, the rod began to glow a brilliant orangey red, and Dad showed me how to give whatever shape I wanted to it, to its hot tip, with the help of a small steel hammer. Once I'd had enough, we immersed it in cold water also to return it to cool and unchanged, to its original malleable state. On the third night, Dad seemed more excited than ever. He was about to introduce me to his best friend, Iron. To add tension to the moment, he removed his gold wedding ring from his finger and showed it to me. See how gold gleams, he said. Humans have always fallen for this metal because of its looks. What they don't realize is that it is just that, flashy, not special. If I wanted to be if I wanted, he would be happy to demonstrate that when gold is heated up and then immersed in water to cool it down again, it returns, like tin and bronze, to its prior state. Glad that I did not insist on a demonstration, he moved on to his favorite part. Holding up a piece of iron ore and gazing at the insipid lump like Hamlet contemplating Yorick's skull, Dad pronounced, "Now, if you want a truly magical substance, this is it, iron, the wizard of materials." And then he proceeded to back up his claim by subjecting an iron rod to the same torture we had inflicted on the bronze rod the previous night, but with a couple of crucial differences. Before heating up the iron, I was given a chance to hammer at its tip, to ascertain that it was soft and almost as malleable as bronze. Once in the fireplace, a small bellows helped us fan the flames until the iron's glow had turned the dimly lit living room scarlet. We took the rod out of the fireplace and, with the little hammer, shaped it into something that, in my boyish eyes, looked like a sword. Lowering it into the cold water made the iron hiss as if in triumph. Poor Polyphemus, or poor Polyphemus, some sort of Greek name, Father remarked mysteriously. Heat it up again, he said. I put the rod back into the fire. This time, immerse it in the water before it glows. Excited by the hissing iron, I was glad that we repeated the quenching process, as meteorologists would call it, 3 or 4 times, or metallurgists. Before I got a chance properly to admire my new sword, Dad announced that the moment of truth had arrived. Pick up the hammer and deliver an almighty strike on the sword's tip, he instructed. But I don't want to ruin it, I protested. Go on, do it, you'll see. Don't spare your strength. I didn't. The hammer struck the sword's tip and bounced right back. I struck it again and again. It made no difference. My sword was impervious to the blows, hardened. The next subchapter is a child's introduction to historical materialism. Father could not contain himself. What I had witnessed, he was not a mere great transition, as with the tin that melted, but a great transformation. True, copper had excuse me. True, copper had facilitated our deliverance from prehistory. Its ability to alloy with arsenic and tin to make the harder metal bronze gave the Mesopotamians, the Egyptians, and the Archeans new technologies, including new plows, axes, and irrigation, allowing them ultimately to produce the large agricultural surpluses that funded the construction of splendid temples and murderous armies. But for history to accelerate sufficiently to bring about what we now call civilization, humanity needed something much harder still than bronze. It needed its plows, its hammers, and its metal structures to have the hardness of my sword's tip. It needed to learn the trick I had seen in our living room, how to transform soft iron into hardened steel by baptizing it in cold water. Bronze Age communities that did not learn how to baptize iron perished, he insisted. The swords of their ironclad enemies sliced through their bronze shields. Their plows failed to cultivate the less fertile soils. The metal braces holding together their dams and temples were too weak to fulfill the ambitions of forward-thinking architects. In contrast, communities that mastered the technique, the art of stealing iron, thrived in the fields, on the battlefield, at sea, in commerce, in the arts. Iron's magic underpinned the new role of technology as the driving force that led to civilization and its discontents. Lest I doubted the cultural pertinence of our little experiment and of the arrival of the Iron Age, Father explained his earlier reference to poor Polyphemus, the one-eyed giant who, according to Homer, imprisoned Odius and his men in a cave, taking his time to devour them one by one. To set them and himself free, Odius waited for Polyphemus to fall into a stupor. He heated up a wooden stake in the cave's open fire and, aided by his comrades, shoved it into Polyphemus' sole eye. Remember the sound of the hissing iron? Dad asked. Well, Homer must have been equally impressed by it, judging by the verse in the Odyssey that captures the cruel moment. And I just want to note, sorry if I get some of the names wrong, the Greek names. I don't speak Greek. Okay, just putting that out there. And as when a smith dips a great axe or in cold
I wouldn't
water,
be overly worried about it. They're literally the ones who invented this civilization that we're all so worried about. So
yeah, right?
you could blame all of this on them. You know.
But-
Screw the ancients. They're the ones that got us into this mess.
yeah, damn you, ancients. Where was I? Oh yeah, and as with a smith axe in cold water amid loud hissing to temper it, for therefrom comes the strength of iron. Even so did his eye hiss around the stake of olive wood. Okay, hold on. It's Odysseus or Odyssey? No, it's not Odyssey.
Odysseus.
It is Odysseus. I was right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I, I,
Why
I
does
know
every
them.
book I
I don't
have
care,
to
but I
have some
do.
sort of other language in it?
Right, yeah, that's why we picked this up, was to learn ancient Greek, right? This is very
Right.
annoying. I'm with you. I'm with
Well,
you.
just also too because of Caliban and the Witch, there was so much different like Italian word in there, and I'm like, ugh, like oh,
Yeah, Sylvia Federici. We got to stop picking up stuff written by these ethnic authors. Okay, like,
I know because I can't. I really suck at other languages. I'm really bad with remembering pronunciations when it comes to other languages.
surely
Oh,
some English woman has written something.
god damn. Okay, Odious and his contemporaries preceded the Iron Age and could not have known how iron's hissing heralded a molecular hardening of historical significance. But Homer, who lived a couple of centuries after the Trojan War, was a child of the Iron Age, and thus came of age in the midst of the technological and social revolution that steel had wrought. In case I thought Homer was an outlier, Dad pointed to the lasting influence of iron's magic by quoting Sopho- Sophocles.
Ooh, you did
Okay,
that
some
well.
guy.
Sophocles, yeah.
Sophocles? Okay, yeah.
Sophocles.
Who 4 centuries later described a soul as hardened like immersed iron. Damn Greeks. uh, Prehistory gave its place to history, Father said, when bronze displaced stone tools and weapons. Once bronze became widespread after 4000 BC, powerful civilizations emerged in Mesopotamia, Egypt, China, India, Crete, Mycenae, and elsewhere. But still, history was counted in the millennia, to be counted in the centuries. We had to discover the magic of iron. Once the Iron Age got going, around the 9th century BC, 3 different and remarkable eras emerged in quick succession within no
Great.
more
No,
than
like, no
seven
joke.
centuries.
I just am so much less entranced by hearing the history of industry
I know, right?
than
To
one
get to the
might
point.
be. No, and it just no, and it just because we know where this goes, right? It's called climate change, right? It's called
Yeah.
like hooray, great. All this sounds like so great. Good job, guys.
This is what happens when we actually read a book by a dude.
That's such a good point. I hadn't even thought of that way, but yeah, good point.
Yeah, you come back, you're like, yeah. anyways, let's go back. Where was I? Once the Iron Age got going around the 9th century BC, 3 different and remarkable eras emerged in quick succession, within no more than 7 centuries in total: the geometric period, the classical era, and the Hellenistic civilization. From
The
the glacial speeds of the
geometric period? How the fuck have I not heard of this? What is
I
that?
don't know. I don't even know.
Wow. We'll have to look that up. That sounds.
Now you learned something. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, wow. Mm. Oops.
From the glacial speeds of the Bronze Age, humanity had been propelled to the breathless developments of the Iron Age. But for a long time, iron and steel remained too difficult to produce, too expensive. Even after the Industrial Revolution, the first steamships were mostly wooden, with steel providing only the essential components like boiler, chimney, joints. Enter another one of my father's great heroes, Henry Bessemer, who invented a technique for producing large quantities of steel cheaply by blowing air through molten pig iron to burn off the impurities. It was then, according to Dad, that history accelerated to speeds with which we are familiar today, coupled with the taming of electromagnetism, which we owe to another Victorian, James
He's just
Maxwell.
gonna drop the term pig iron on us and not explain that at all.
I think what that is, molten pig iron, is just when you've got it to that liquid state.
I guess, but we have to pick that up from
That has to know the
context.
impurities before you take that out.
That's a term that could have been taught to us at the beginning during the storytelling part of this here portion of the lesson, but he decided he didn't need to go back and do that, apparently. That's fine.
No, I guess not. I guess not. But also, I will say this. This book is translated. So it might be something that's very common in Greek.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm giving
sorry.
him
You
the
picked
benefit of the
this
doubt
book.
at this point.
I won't hit it too hard. You did choose it, so I'll go easy.
Now I have to find it again. Hold on. Oh yeah. Okay. And enter another one of my father's great heroes, Henry Bessemer, who invented a technique for producing large quantities of steel cheaply by blowing air through molten pig iron to burn off the impurities. It was then, according to Dad, that history accelerated to speeds with which we are familiar today, coupled with the taming of electromagnetism, which we owe to another Victorian, James Maxwell. Bessemer's technique gave us the second industrial revolution period of rapid technological innovation from 1870 onwards, as distinct from the arrival of the factories earlier that century in the first industrial revolution, its wonders and horrors wrapped tightly together. Looking back to those few winter nights of 1966, it is now clear to me that I was being introduced in historical materialism, the method of understanding history as a constant feedback loop between, on the one hand, the way humans transform matter, and on the other, the manner in which human thinking and social relations are transformed in return. Thankfully, Father's historical materialism was nuanced, his enthusiasm for technology tempered by judicious doses of angst about humanity's infinite capacity to mess things up, to turn to turn miraculous technology into living hell. Well, that's actually something I've been accused of. uh, Iron, like all revolutionary technologies, had sped up history, but in which direction? For what purpose? With what effect on us? As Dad explained, from the very start of the Iron Age, there were those who foresaw its tragic consequences. Hesiod was composing poetry. I was right, he is a poet. At around the same time as Homer. His works and days had a solitary cooling influence on Dad's enthusiasm for iron and, more generally, technology. I wish I did not have to live among the people of the Fifth Age, or the Iron Age, but either had died earlier or had been born later. For now, truly, is a generation of iron who never rest from labor and sorrow by day, or from perishing by night. But notwithstanding the good mingled with their evils, this generation will know no favor for those who keep their oath, or for the just or the good. Strength shall be right. The wicked will hurt the worthy. Bitter sorrows will be left for us mortals, and there will be no help against evil. End quote. According to Hesiod, iron hardened not only our plows, but also our souls. Under its influence, our spirit was hammered and forged in fire. Out our brand new desires quenched like the hissing metal in the smith's cauldron. Virtues were tested and values destroyed, just as our bounty, excuse me, virgined, and our estates expanded. Strength begat new joys, but weariness and injustices too. Zeus would have no choice, Hesiod foretold, but to one day destroy a humanity incapable of restraining its own technologically induced power. My father wanted to disagree with Hesiod. He wanted to believe that we humans could become the masters of our technology rather than enslave ourselves and one another with it. When Prometheus stole fire, symbolizing the white heat of technology from Zeus on humanity's behalf, he did so in the hope that it would lighten up our lives without burning down the earth. My father wanted to believe we could make Prometheus proud. And the next chapter is From Heat to Light. Hold on. Okay, from heat to light. An innate optimism was only one reason Dad remained hopeful that humanity would not waste the magical powers he had introduced me to in front of our fireplace. Another was his encounter with the nature of light. One time, as I was removing an iron rod from the fire, Dad asked, "Can you guess what leaves the heated up metal to reach your eye so that you can see its red glow?" I had no idea. Happily, I was not alone. For centuries, light had divided the best minds, he said. Some, like Aristotle and James Maxwell, thought of light as a kind of disturbance in the ether, a wave that spreads outwards from an initial source, like sound does. Others, such as Democritus and Isaac Newton, pointed out that, unlike sound, light cannot bend round corners, something waves do by their very nature, and thus it must be made of tiny things or particles traveling in a straight line before hitting our eyes' retina. Who was right? My father's life changed, or so he told me when he read Albert Einstein's answer. They were all right. Light is, at once, a stream of particles and a series of waves. But how could that be? Particles differ fundamentally from waves. They are located at only one point at any particular moment in time. They have momentum, and they move only in a straight line unless and until something gets in their way. Waves, by contrast, are oscillations of a medium, which is what allows them to turn corners and transport energy in many different directions at once. To prove, as Einstein had done, that light was both particles and waves was to admit that something can be two utterly contradictory things at once. For Dad, the dual nature of light was the gateway to recognizing the essential dualism underlying all of nature, and also in society. If light could be two very different things at once, he wondered, in a letter he wrote as a young man to his mother, if matter is energy and energy matter, as Einstein had also discovered, why must we cast life either in black and white terms, or even worse, in some shade of gray? By the time I was 12 or 13, it was clear to me from our ongoing conversations that Dad's love for iron's magic technology and for Einstein's physics, the contradictory duality of all things, had something to do with his left wing politics, for which he had spent several years in prison camps. My hunch was confirmed when I came across the text of a speech delivered by the same person who had first formulated the notion of historical materialism, Karl Marx. It was as if Dad had been speaking the words. Quote, in our days, everything seems pregnant with its contrary. Machinery gifted with the wonderful power of shortening and fructifying human labor, we behold starving and overworking it. The newfangled sources of wealth, by some strange weird spell, are turned into sources of want. The victories of art seem bought by the loss of character. End quote. The power to shorten human labor and make it fruitful resulted from the great transformation of matter father had been so keen to demonstrate for my benefit. Iron turning to steel in our fireplace, heat turning to kinetic energy in James Watts's miraculous fire engine, the minor miracles occurring within the telegraph's magnets and cables. But ever since Hesioid's fifth age, it was a power pregnant with its opposite as well, the power to starve and to overwork, to turn a source of wealth into a source of want. The link between father's twin devotions to furnaces, metallurgy, and technology in general on the one hand, and to his politics on the other, became impossible to miss when I first read the Communist Manifesto, in particular the line, quote, all that is solid melts into air, all that is holy is profane, and man is at last compelled to face with sober senses his real conditions of life and his relations with his kind. End quote. It brought back the memory of his childlike enthusiasm at the sight of melting metal in front of our fireplace, or, far more spectacularly, at the steel plant whose quality control department he directed, and where temperatures were high enough for iron literally to melt into air. But unlike Hesiod, or indeed the moralists of our own era, Dad did not feel he had to take sides, to be either technophobe or a techno enthusiast. If life can have two contradictory natures, and if all of nature rests on a binary opposition, then hardened iron, steam engines, and networked computers could also be simultaneously potential liberators and enslavers. And so it is up to us who it will be. Where and next we'll spit your introduction to capitalism. And I'm gonna have another sip. Just give me 2 seconds here. Okay, a most particular introduction to capitalism. Leftists usually become radicalized in reaction to the vile injustices and mind numbing inequality capitalism generates. Not so in my case. Sure, growing up in the midst of a fascist dictatorship played its role, but my leftism had far more esoteric origins, a sensitivity given to me by my father to the duality of things. Well before I had read a word that Marx or any other economist had written, I thought I could discern several dualities buried deep in the foundations of our societies. My first inkling of such a duality hit me one evening when Mom complained to Dad that at the fertilizer factory where she worked as a chemist, she got paid for her time but never for her enthusiasm. Quote, my wage is crap because my time is cheap, she said. My passion to get the right results the bosses get for free. Soon after, she resigned and got herself a job as a biochemist at a public hospital. A few months into the new job, she told us happily, at least at the hospital, I love my efforts benefit patients, even if I am as invisible to them as I used to be to the factory owners. Those words stuck with me. Mom had inadvertently introduced me to the duality of waged labor. The wage she was paid for her time and formal skills, her certificates, degrees, reflected the exchange value of the hours she spent at work. But that's not what in what injected true value into whatever was being manufactured in her workplace. That was added to what was produced at the factory or the hospital through her effort, enthusiasm, application, even flair, none of which were remunerated. It's likely, sorry, it's like going to watch a movie at a cinema. The ticket price you pay reflects the movie's exchange value, but that is quite separate from the pleasure it gives you, which we might call the experiential value. In the same way, labor is split between commodity labor, mom's time bought by her wage, and experiential labor, the effort, passion, and flair she put into her work. When in time I did come to read Marx, I vividly recall how excited I was to discover that, thanks to my father's fireside lessons and my mom's explanation, I'd stumbled upon one of the great economist's central principles. In the world we take for granted today, labor seems like any other commodity. Desperate to make a living, people promote their skills like vendors advertising their wares. They accept a market determined price, the wage, for their labor, which reflects its exchange value, i.e., what it is worth compared to other exchangeable commodities. This is commodity labor. However, as we have seen, unlike soap, powder, potatoes, or iPhones, which are nothing but commodities, labor is something else besides. To illustrate labor's second nature, the experiential labor that my mother first alerted me to, consider the brilliant idea conjured up by a group of brainstorming architects employed by a multinational construction firm, or the positive vibes a waiter emits on the restaurant floor, or our teacher's tear of joy when a challenged pupil solves a difficult math problem. None of these can ever truly be commodified. Why? Because no monetary reward can prompt a moment of true inspiration. No genuine smile can be bought. No authentic tear can be shed for a price. In fact, any attempt to do so would immediately negate them. Indeed, bosses who try to quantify price or commodify experiential labor will sound like the fool who yells at you, be spontaneous. What I call experiential labor, the part which can never be sold, Marx called simply labor. And what I have labeled commodity labor Marx defined as laboring power, but the idea is the same. What the working man sells is not directly his labor, but his laboring power, the temporary disposal of which he makes over to the capitalist. Imagine my joy then when I discovered that, based on labor's two natures, Marx had erected a whole theory of capitalism. For herein lies capitalism's secret. The commodifiable sweat, effort, inspiration, goodwill, care, and tears of employees are what breathe exchange value into the commodities that employers then flog to eager customers. This is actually what makes the building or restaurant or school desirable. One may protest that there is many a factory populated by uninspired, joyless robotic workers producing tin cans or gadgets worth more than the cost of paying the workers. True. But this happens only because employers cannot buy the effort put in by unskilled manual laborers. They can only buy their time, during which to pressurize them in a variety of ways to work hard and to sweat. The point here is that this blue collar sweat, exactly like the waged architect's flair, can never be directly bought or sold. This is indeed the secret power of employers to extract any surplus, either from highly skilled or from uninspired, repetitive, robotic uh, work. They must pay for their workers' time, commodity labor, but cannot actually buy their sweat or flair, experiential labor. You might think it is extremely frustrating to employers
Hey,
that they
really quick,
cannot.
I'm sorry. I wanted to ask you something. This is how out of it I've been. I've been wanting to ask you something for like 3 days. Don't let me get off here
Yeah.
without asking you, okay?
Okay.
Cool. Thank you. It's not related to the topic at hand. I just don't want to forget entirely.
Okay. So we'll talk about that after. Okay.
Yeah, after it's fine.
Yeah. You might think it extremely frustrating to employers that they cannot buy the architect's eureka moment, the waiter's spontaneous smile, the teacher's tear directly, without which their employees' work produces no value. On the contrary, employers resemble the customer who bought a jacket for $1,000 only to find $2,000 sewn in its lining. Indeed, if they don't, they go bust. When I first encountered this, excuse me, revelatory explanation of capitalism's secret, I found it captivating to think that capitalists owe their profits to an inability to the impossibility of buying experiential labor directly. And yet, what a boon to suffer from such an incapacity, for it is ultimately they who pocket the difference between the exchange value they pay employees in exchange for their commodity labor wages and the exchange value of the commodities created thanks to their experiential labor. In other words, labor's dual nature is what gives rise to profit. It is not just labor that has a dual nature. The dominant propaganda today, and while I was growing up, is that profit is the price or reward of a thing called capital, and that people who have capital, such as tools, raw materials, money, anything that can be used to produce saleable goods, make a profit by deploying it. In the same way, a worker makes a wage by deploying her labor. But the conclusion that profit results from labor's contradictory twin natures led me to reject this notion too. Again, even before I had read Marx, and thanks to paying attention to mom and dad, the more I thought of capital, the more convinced I became that, like light and labor, is two featured two natures. One is commodity capital, e.g., a fishing rod, a tractor, a company's server, or any good that is produced to be used in the production of the other commodities. Capital's second nature, however, is nothing like a commodity. I suppose I discover that I possess tools you need in order to produce the stuff for your family survival, such as the aforementioned fishing rod, tractor, server. Suddenly, I have acquired the power to make you do things. For example, to work for me in exchange for the use of my tools. Capital, in short, is both a thing, commodity capital, and a force, power capital, just as labor is split between commodity labor and exponential labor. Where was I? By the time I began reading Marx, I could not help but filter his words through the lens given to me by my mom's work, Dysphoria, and by my dad's inspiration from the great 20th century physicist. Delighted as I was by the dualities I was seeing deep down, I wondered what Einstein would have made of my wild extrapolations. From his theory of light, or rather from my puny grasp of it, to the essence of capitalism, had my father inadvertently misrepresented Einstein, prompting my imagination to run away at a tangent thanks to a flimsy and perhaps false metaphor? Many years later, I chanced upon this sentence written by Einstein himself. Quote, "It is important to understand that even in theory, the payment of the worker is not determined by the value of his product." End quote. It appeared in an article entitled Why Socialism, published in May 1949. Reading it, I breathed a sigh of relief. No, I had not been taking liberties with Einstein's insights after all. He too believed that capitalism's essence was the splitting of labor into two incongruous natures. All right, next is an unequally odd introduction to money. Uncle Albert, as father used to refer to Einstein on occasion, was not finished with my education regarding capitalism. Having opened my eyes to the dual nature of both labor and capital, he guided me to the dual nature of money through an even more circuitous path involving a certain John Maynard Keynes. In 1905, the 26-year-old Einstein found the guts to tell a deeply skeptical world that light was a continuous field of waves made up of particle-like things, and moreover that energy and matter were essentially one thing, linked by history's most famous equation, E equals mc squared, i.e., a body's energy content is equal to its mass times the speed of light multiplied by itself. A decade later, Einstein extended this special theory of relativity to elucidate one of the greatest puzzles, gravity. The general theory of relativity that resulted was not for the faint-hearted. To grasp it, we first had to embrace a mindset that rejected what our senses told us. If you want to understand gravity, Einstein explained, you need to stop thinking of space as a box that the universe comes in. Matter and energy operating as one would mold the contours of space and shape the flow of time. The only way to wrap our minds around space and time, or matter and energy, is to think of them as partners locked in the most intimate and soluble embrace. Gravity is what we feel as we traverse the shortest path through this four-dimensional space-time. That our brains find it hard to grasp the reality unveiled by Einstein's general theory of relativity is unsurprising. We evolved on the surface of a planet that is minuscule in comparison to the universe out there. In our limited realm, we can get by quite nicely with our senses, helpful illusions. For instance, the belief that the grass is green, straight lines exist, or that time is constant and independent of our motion. These beliefs are false and yet helpful to the extent that they enable our architects to design safe buildings and our watches to coordinate our meetings at pre-agreed points in time. When playing pool, as the cue ball strikes a colored ball, we become convinced of a clear causal effect. But we but were we to rely on these illusions to travel beyond our planet to the microcosm out there, we would be literally lost in space. Equally, when we peer deep into the world of the subatomic particles that comprise of our own body, or the chair we are sitting on, even the link between cause and effect vanishes. I don't know what he's talking about because I don't agree. We are just interpreting like it. Like it exists, even if we don't see it, it still exists. But that's my opinion. Because
I love that we've taken
because
a field trip into particle physics for no reason.
I know, like, what does that have to anything to do with anything? For one,
For no
like,
reason. Nothing. I don't think that has
and for one,
anything to do with anything.
of course, it still exists. Even we are, and it exists how it is. It just we have our body just interprets it maybe in a different way, but like it's still an interpretation of something that exists beyond and external to us. I
Right.
don't know.
No, you're right. He made it all sound very relative, which I don't think is what.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever.
I'm not sure that's how he meant it. Anyway, I think dude might be swinging at pitches that are too fast for him or whatever. Like you
Okay,
can't blame a
this is
guy for
still
swinging, but swing and a miss.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay.
You're swinging a miss, but you know what? That's okay because I don't think it really has much to do with anything really when it comes to the like you
No,
just
I
have to
think it's a
understand
metaphor.
power and capital.
Right.
You're
I love how
okay.
he's using particle physics as a metaphor. Like, dude,
Yeah,
no one understands that. You can't use that as an explanation of itself, much less a metaphor for anything else. What are we doing?
I don't
Oh
know.
my god.
Whatever. This is the first chapter. I'll give him some grace.
Yeah, the
That
ego on
message is
this
still
guy is
there,
gonna
but
make
what are you
him
gonna do?
fun to hang out with, though. It's gonna be great.
Have a drink and a pub with him. That shouldn't go well. Could you just see something getting wasted and just going into this metaphor of particle
I
physics?
can. I can. I
I
can.
can too. I'm like, were you drinking?
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
Let's finish it out. We don't have far to go, do we?
No, we know how much I've heard though. What does
Cool.
any of this have to do with money? Like, so you do have some self-awareness.
I'm positive. Yeah. Positively
The title
salivating to
of the
learn that
most
by this point.
yeah, the title of the most famous economics book of the 20th century is The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, published in 1936. It was written by John Maynard Keynes in order to explain why capitalism was failing to recover from the Great Depression, and the allusion to Einstein's general theory was intentional. Keynes, who had met Einstein and knew of his work, chose it so as to herald a complete break from conventional economics, a break as clean and decisive as that of Einstein's from classical physics. Of his fellow economists who insisted that money ought to be understood as another commodity, Keynes once said that they resemble Euclidean geometers geometers in a non-Euclidean world, whatever. Again, confirming in no uncertain terms Einstein's influence. Conventional economic thinking about money was damaging humanity, Keynes thought. Economists resembled spacecraft designers disastrously relying on Euclid, not Einstein. They were using illusions which, while helpful in the microcosm of a single market, e.g., the market for potatoes, where a fall in the price can usually be relied upon to boost sales, were catastrophic when applied to the economy at large. The macro economy, where a fall in the price of money, the interest rate, may never boost money's flows in the form of investment and employment. In the same way that Einstein had ended our illusion that that time stands outside and apart from space, Keynes wanted to stop us thinking of money as a thing, as simply another commodity that stands outside and apart from other activities and markets and workplaces. Today, we are bombarded with the phantasmagoria of idiocies about money. Clueless politicians invoke penny pinching metaphors to justify self defeating austerity. They're not clueless, they know what they're doing. Okay, no, I'll keep going. Central bankers facing both inflation and deflation resemble the proverbial ass, both thirsty and hungry, who collapses because it can't decide whether to drink or eat first. Crypto enthusiasts invite us to fix the world by embracing the ultimate money commodity form, Bitcoin and its various offspring. Big tech is creating its own digital money with which to lure us deeper into its poisonous web of platforms. I can think of no better defense in the face of this orchestrated obfuscation than Keynes's Einstein-derived advice. Stop thinking about money as something separate from what we do to each other, with each other, at work, during play, and every nook and cranny of our social universe. Yes, money is a thing, a commodity like any other, but it's also something much bigger than that. It is, above all else, a reflection of our relation to one another and to our technologies, i.e., the means and the ways in which we transform matter. Or, as Marx put it poetically, quote, money is, money is the alienated ability of mankind. that which I am unable to do as a man, and of which, therefore, all my individual essential powers are incapable, I am able to do by means of money. Money thus turns each of these powers into something which it is itself is not, turns it, that is, into contrary. End quote. This he's just overthinking this.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I think I get what he's trying to say with the
I get what he's
metaphor.
saying, but he really just doesn't like. I get what he's saying, but there definitely a simpler way of going about saying it. I
Yeah,
think than going
probably.
through all of that.
Yeah, probably. But like, okay, some editor told him it would be really great if he could start with a humanizing anecdote.
Yeah, probably, and then just took pieces of his life and then kind of fit
Yeah.
it in. I think you're on to something because like,
That was a very humanizing anecdote.
but like you just have to like. Oh, what's how? Okay, what's that? It's called where they decoupled gold into like just numbers. Yeah, we get that. That's not hard concept to understand. Everyone understands that if you have any idea of like economy understanding, right? We got off the gold standard. You didn't need to like delve into these weird metaphysics to under to and go into particle physicism and like all that shit just to say that we're not on a gold standard.
See, was that about the gold standard? I didn't get that. If that's what
No,
he
I
was
do because
getting
what they're
at,
doing is that
then
they're using it because that's a commodity, right? The gold standard that's a commodity, but now it's been turned into just numbers because of investments and then the borrowing and lending and all that, and then they've turned it
right.
into more virtual like Bitcoin. So that's like a
Yeah.
decoupling and a separation of a commodity and then just something that's subjective almost, right? It's just number they don't exist in a matter in material. There's no
No, right.
material like actual to represent that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, and I
Yeah.
know why we went off. I know all about going off the gold standard. I'm just not sure. Okay, no, I don't know. That was a lot to say. Not very
This
much,
is what I
I
mean.
guess.
That was a lot to say just to sort of like put that out there
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm gonna go take some
and
caffeine.
how it can be manipulated as such with those with power. But anyways, the next is free to lose. Sorry, free to choose or free or to lose.
Oh, we're not even done. Okay.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Okay.
In early 2015, a historical accident made me Greece's finance minister. Given my mandate to clash with some of the most powerful people and institutions in the world, the international press peered into my articles, books, and
Wait,
lectures for clues of
this
what
guy's
to expect.
Greece's finance minister. That's who this is. That's who's writing
Yeah,
this. Oh, okay.
yeah. They were baffled by my claim to be a libertarian Marxist, a self-description that was immediately derided by several libertarians and most Marxists. When one of
Well,
the well, when one of the Reuter interviews asked after the source of my obvious confusion, I jokingly replied to my parents. Joking aside, father was at least indirectly responsible for another crucial component of my political education. My inability to see how one could genuinely cherish freedom and tol-
go read.
and
I'm sorry. I did not get. I wasn't muted my
yeah, I have to read
microphone.
that one again because I got distracted.
Hang on a second.
Joking aside, yep, I'll just keep going. Yeah, I'll just keep going. Joking aside, father was at least indirectly responsible for another crucial component of my political education. My inability to see how one could generally cherish freedom and tolerate capitalism, or vice versa, how one could be both illiberal and left wing. Between them, he and my feminist mother bequeathed me a perspective diagonally opposed to what has become, sadly, conventional fallacy. That capitalism is about freedom, efficiency, democracy, while socialism turns on justice, equality, and statism. In fact, from the very start, the left was all about emancipation. During the feudal era, which became properly entrenched across Europe in the 12th century, economic life involved no economic choices. If you were born into the landed gentry, it would never cross your mind to sell your ancestors' land. And if you were born a serf, you were compelled to toil the land on the landowner's behalf, free of any illusion that one day you might own land yourself. In short, neither land nor labor power was a commodity. They had no market price. The vast majority of the time,
What
ownership
is this
of
he's
them.
talking about? I missed that. I'm sorry. What?
Um, should I just read it again?
When land and labor had no market price? When was this a magical era that he's talking about? What?
Feudalism.
Oh, okay. Sure.
That's okay. Um, In short, neither land nor labor power was a commodity. They had no market price. The vast majority of the time, ownership of them changed only through wars of conquest, royal decree, or as a result of some catastrophe. Then, in the 18th century, something remarkable happened. Because of advances in shipping and navigation, international trade in things like wool, linen, silk, and spices made them lucrative, thus giving British landlords an idea. Why not evict en masse the serfs from land that produced worthless turnips and replace them with sheep, whose backs produce precious wool for the international markets? The peasants' eviction was which we now remember as the enclosures, for it involved fencing them off from the land their ancestors had toiled for centuries, gave the majority of people something they had lost at the time that agriculture was invented: choice. Landlords could choose to lease land for a price reflecting the amount of wool it could produce. The evicted serfs could choose to offer their labor for a wage. Of course, in reality, being free to choose was no different from being free to lose. Former serfs who refused squalid work for a pitiful wage starved to death. Proud aristocrats who refused to go along with the commodification of their land went bankrupt. As feudalism receded, economic choice arrived, but was as free as the one offered by a mafioso who smilingly tells you, I shall make you an offer you cannot refuse. By the middle of the 19th century, the thinking of Marx and other foundational left wing thinkers was all about freeing us. Specifically, in this era, it was about freeing us from a Dr. Frankenstein like failure to control our creations, not least the machines of the Industrial Revolution. In the ageless words of the Communist Manifesto, quote, a society that has conjured up such gigantic means of production and of exchange is like the sorcerer who is no longer able to control the powers of the netherworld whom he has called up by his spells, end quote. For over a century, the left was concerned primarily with deliverance from self-inflicted unfreedom, which is why it was so fundamentally aligned with the anti-slavery movement. The suffragettes, groups sheltering persecuted Jews in the 1930s and 40s, black liberation organizations in the 1950s and 60s, the first gay and lesbian protesters in the streets of San Francisco, Sydney, and London in the 1970s. So, how did we get to this situation today where libertarian Marxists sounds like a joke? The answer is that sometime in the 20th century, the left traded freedom for other things. In the East, from Russia to China, Cambodia, and Vietnam, the quest for emancipation was swapped for a totalitarian egalitarianism. In the West, liberty was left to its enemies, abandoned in exchange for an ill defined notion of fairness. The moment people believed they had to choose between freedom and fairness, between an iniquitous democracy and miserable state imposed egalitarianism, it was game over for the left. Not really, but okay. On Boxing Day, 1991, I was visiting Athens to spend a few days with my parents. As we chatted over dinner in front of the same red brick fireplace, the red flag was being lowered above the Kremlin. Thanks to Dad's communist past and Mom's social democratic leanings, they had shared a common mood. They knew that on the very night history was marking not just the demise of the Soviet Union, but also the end of the social democratic dream of a mixed economy in which government provided public goods while the private sector produced plentiful goodies to satisfy our whims. All in all, a civilized form of capitalism where inequality and exploitation were kept in check in the context of a politically mediated truce between the owners of capital and those who had nothing to sell but their labor. Circumspect, though not glum, the three of us agreed we were witnessing a defeat made inevitable once our side had lost the conviction that capitalism was iniquitous because it was inefficient, that it was unjust because it was illiberal, that it was a chaotic because it was irrational. Falling back to basics, I asked mom and dad what freedom meant to them. Mother replied, the ability to choose your partners and your projects. Father's reply was similar, time to read, to experiment, and to write. Whatever your definition might be, dear reader, being free to choose, being free to lose in a variety of soul-crushing ways can't be it. Yeah. Okay. Uh yeah, no. There's so much I could say here and I don't even know where to start.
Okay, just can you pick one?
Socialism, for one, and whatever, is not an an equal thing of capitalism with people like the labor power. It's labor power like being able to be like it's not about trying to live like together. That's not what that is. And in like equal exchange, that's not what it is because they'll never be equal because capitalists will always be able to have the upper hand because they have the power because they have the capital.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what you think socialism is. That's not it. Like, but moving on. Moving on. I can see why. See, this is what I meant because some of the sub chapters and like the later parts, I was like, kind of looking my eye at, going like making me like sort of like furrow my brows. Like, what is he talking about? I don't know. uh,
We don't have to read this one. We could do.
oh, I know, but this is the last sub chapter part, so
Okay.
I'll we'll do that and then we'll talk. Father's question. Oh, hold on. There. Almost everyone today talks to capitalism as fish to water, without even noticing it is there, treating it as the invisible, irreplaceable, natural ether we move through. As Frederick Jameson famously put it, people find it easier to imagine the end of the world than the end of capitalism. For my father's generation of leftists, however, there was a brief moment in the mid to late 1940s when the end of capitalism seemed only a matter of a few years, if not months, away. But then one thing led to another, and capitalism's demise shifted further and further into the future until after 1991, it disappeared beyond the horizon. Maybe but that's anecdotal. Like that doesn't mean that that is like how it was for everyone, and it doesn't mean that like people can't see an end to it or have an idea to get like that's just okay. Whatever. Being of the generation who had believed that capitalism was transitionary, Dad continued to contemplate capitalism's expiry even after he had concluded he would not live to see it. Nevertheless, a decade or so after our fireside experiments with the dream of socialism in deep recession, and while I dived into the works of the political economists, Father repeatedly immersed himself in the study of ancient technology. Every now and then, feeling he could gutlessly leave me to the exploration of capitalism's mysteries while he relished the unalloyed joys of archaeometry, he would speculate on how capitalism might one day end and what would replace it. His wish was that it would not die with a bang because bangs had a tendency to cull good people in awful numbers. That instead, socialist islands might spring up spontaneously in our vast capitalist archipelago and that they would expand gradually, eventually forming whole continents on which technology advanced commons would prevail. That would never happen because capitalists have power to destroy it, like they always done, like in Cuba right now, like in fucking other places too. Why do you think we went to Vietnam? Is because they were communists and socialist aspects to it. They have always defeated it. What are you talking about? They purposely go out of their way to make sure anyone who democratically decides, any country democratically decides to lean more that way, and untethered from capitalism goes out with its power because they have capital and literally like bombs it to death. Anyways, okay. No, I'm trying to get to this chapter. Okay. Hold on. In 1987, he sought my help to set up his first desktop computer, a glorified typewriter, he called it, but with an impressive on-screen editing facility. Imagine how many more volumes Marx's complete works would consist if the bearded one had owned one of these, he joked. As if to prove the point, he used it over the years that followed to churn out voluminous papers and books on the interplay between the ancient Greeks' technology and literature. 6 years on, in 1993, I arrived at the Valerio home with the clunky early modern modem to connect his computer to the fledgling internet. This is a game changer, he said, struggling to dial up a woefully slow Greek internet provider. He asked me the killer mechanism combined, and yet we are not. What? That didn't make sense. Oh, that's because two pages were together. Okay. He asked me the killer question that ultimately inspired this book. Now that computers speak to each other, will this network make capitalism impossible to overthrow? Or might it finally reveal its Achilles heel? Caught up in my own projects and dramas, I never got round to answering Father's question. When I finally decided I had an answer for him, Dad was already 95 and finding it hard to follow my musings. And so here I am, a few years later, only a few weeks after his passing, composing my answer. Lately, but I hope not in vain. That's the end of the first chapter. Oh.
Holy crap. So, like, dedicated to my dad is what I'm getting from this.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's cute.
I mean, I think it's like, okay. I think he's good attention. I think he's just really liberal. But he
You got
thinks
that
he's
from
radical.
that?
I
Yeah,
do think
okay.
from that. And from what I've heard about him and from what I've he worked in the finance and government as
Right,
liberal.
right.
I think he's a liberal who thinks
Yeah.
himself is more radical than he really is.
Well, they all do, don't they?
Liberals, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
why a lot of libertarian and Marxists and socialists do not agree with you. You think you're radical, but you're not. You obviously have not really delved in to the aspects of you maybe read the Communist Manifesto, and that was it. You didn't read This Capital. I'll tell you that. And that's what a lot of these liberals who think that they're Marxists do, is that they think the Communist Manifesto is his magnus opus or something about capitalism. It's not. It was a booklet that the Communist Party asked Marx to help write for. It's a small dinky thing, and it has nothing to do with his actual Marxist theory. That's in Des Capital, which is huge. It's 3 volumes, about 700 pages each volume.
Right.
So if you haven't read that, you don't know what you're talking about. You kind of need to have that grasp. That's Marxist theory. Not anything in the Communist Manifesto is Marxist theory. It was for the Communist Party's pamphlet that they asked him to put in.
Mm-hmm. So,
And so many people I know are like that too. They read the Communist Manifesto and they consider themselves to be Marxist. And it's like, what? No. It doesn't give you anything. It's not a theory, even. Like, It's like a manifesto for the Communist Party. That's what the title of the fucking thing is.
Well, that makes sense.
Right?
I just
Oh my
I just
god.
haven't read any of it, so because I'm just not
Okay,
an
yeah. Well, I'm telling you
economist.
now. I see it all the time. I see liberals who think that they're Marxists use it as some sort of like. I think of it as because they read that there's some sort of like political, like politically intellectual.
No, I totally get it. I totally get it.
And then the right wing look at it and know that it's not, and then like kind of be like throw it around and say this is what Marx they think that this is what they're going by, and this is why everything's so bad because look at all this shit, and then they take what's written in there and they make something out of it that's not what it's meant to be because they wouldn't know. The only way you would know is if you read Des Capital. So they make shit up. Everyone's just making shit up to sound smart, and that's what it feels like.
No, that I'll
And it's
guarantee
frustrating
you.
when you're the ones since I know because I've read both. Like I've
Mm,
read the Disc Capital and the Marx, so I know both, and I see it all the time, and it's just so frustrating.
mm.
Sorry, I
No,
went on a
no,
little bit of
you're
a tangent,
right.
but it really is.
The amount of intellectual posers out there, just in general,
I
is
know, but you don't even
shockingly
realize. You don't
high.
even know if they're posers. I think they're just really. I hate to say dumb,
Like
but like, that's
I'm,
what's coming to mind.
well, yeah, that's why they're posers. Because if they weren't dumb, then they wouldn't have to
Okay, yeah, I was
be
thinking correctly,
posing.
but posers, yeah, they just don't realize they're
Yeah,
posers.
right,
Yeah, okay,
exactly.
yeah. It is really
And
frustrating though. I'm just like, oh my god, like,
it takes me back to what I was saying about the ego in the teachers earlier. Because in order to learn something, you have to first admit that you don't know something,
yeah, that's good. That's a good, yeah. Look at
and
you
that's
putting the duality of the
terrifying to
binary
some
together.
people. True. No, but that's terrifying to, a certain kind of ego has difficulty
Yeah,
admitting that they're ignorant of a thing in the first place to then try and learn it. So like learning is a painful process to a certain kind of person.
which I don't get. If you don't know, just go learn it then.
Right,
Just go
but
read it.
so that it's okay. These are egotistical people we're talking about who to admit an imperfection is like, oh my god, it
Oh
just freaks
god.
them out. It freaks them out to admit that they're not perfect. Narcissistic people.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Okay,
which is
but
so
like,
silly. I would in my like for me, it's hard to understand just because I'm not like that. Like I
oh yeah,
don't know.
right.
There's a lot of things I don't know, but there's a lot of things I do know, so it's okay. And
You're
if you don't
right,
know something and you want to know something, just go learn it. You don't need
right,
to
right,
pretend.
right, right. You're right. Well, you could just
Like,
actually go and find it
take for
out, and then
example,
you
like
would know
my
it, and then
when
you
I'm
don't have the
reading.
problem anymore. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, we'll take that example when it comes to say the Greek words. I suck at language. Like I have no problem with admitting it. I'm not going to pretend that what I'm saying is even the right fucking way to pronounce it because I don't fucking know.
Yeah. No, and I just have an ear, and I just remember I have lyrics in my head
Yeah.
to almost
Well,
every
I
song
know.
I've
Well, I
ever
think that you
heard. So I just
that yeah.
pick these things up. So I do know how to pronounce Greek shit. I don't speak Greek, and I don't care.
Yeah.
But
See,
like,
I don't mind asking you, and I don't care if it's shown right on TV on YouTube because you know what? Yeah, I don't know everything. Sue me. What I do know is when I speak on what I do know, and
right.
the fact that people don't know something, just say I don't know. Where should I go?
Right.
More like if like, people like that's not the that's not like threatening. Like, why is it threatening to who you are? Like, I
No,
just
but
don't
so
get it.
the point I'm getting at is that narcissistic people tend to enjoy being the center of attention in, say, a classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm suggesting is that the people who propounded these educational ideas were themselves extremely narcissistic. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm suggesting.
Yeah. And you know, it doesn't help
Mm.
social media.
Oh no,
Everyone's
that's
a main
true.
character.
That's true. But like the hippie movement is itself a perfect example of how you don't need.
Oh no, you don't. No, I know you don't. I'm just saying that it's gotten a lot worse, I think, for people, or it manifests a narcissistic sort of, perception of like because of the whole fact that everyone's their little main character, and they think that
Yeah.
like
Well,
which is
and see, I
interesting because
think.
you know what?
Mm,
You know what's interesting? Because I actually don't have social media. I don't even have a Twitter. I don't have Facebook.
yeah. Right.
Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, and I think it found fertile ground though in the first place. Like if they
Yeah.
could have had social media in the '60s, they would have fucking loved it,
Oh,
right?
I bet they fucking were. Although
They
some of those cults that came about too from it.
Yeah, right, yeah. See, they didn't need that shit to form cults back then. They didn't just do that
No,
all
they
the same.
didn't,
But
but
if
they
they
sure
could
did
have,
form them.
right. And so then the fact that their kids and their grandkids just absolutely latched onto this shit should not be surprising to anybody. Okay. I
Yeah.
can't you can't blame the I don't know. This is a
Well, the way I see it is a sick society is created by a sick populace too, or a sick society, like a society that's sick creates a population that's just as sick in reaction to it.
right. So it's just you can't win.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like loops.
Yeah.
It's a tipping point where it just like just goes further and further, worse and worse and worse the further it goes along.
Right. Well, see, that is my radicalism coming through because I think that we're just drawing from a poisoned well, and until we like
Yeah,
can
yeah,
can fix some of our ideas about what civilization is, then we're just going to continue perpetuating these toxic patterns. Because
yeah. That's what do you call it?
true.
No. There's the worst part. My mind having a blank. Um, it starts with an E. Entropy. At least it's
Mm,
like entropy, right?
mm,
Chaotic mess after a while. It's where
yeah.
it's just two positives, and so it's a tipping point because like you can't turn back. Like, it just keeps getting worse and worse until like it literally devotes to like a chaotic, like destruction,
Yeah.
like or whatever, complete chaos. Yeah, that's entropy. Right? So we are living in a social entropy.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, the thing I wanted to ask you about, I've been wanting to ask you about this for days, ever since I thought of it. And I just want your
Mhm.
honest reaction to this, and it will tell me a lot, just your honest reaction to this. So, my book, right?
Yeah.
I've been writing in the wrong genre, and I realized this the other day, just randomly out of nowhere. It's not a fantasy story so much as it is a psychological thriller.
Okay, I can't hear you because it just knocked out of the signal.
It did?
Sorry. Say that again. I'm so sorry.
That it's not a fantasy so much as it is a psychological thriller.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah,
now?
that's okay. You can laugh. I laughed too when I figured that out. I was like, oh, that explains so
Is,
much
how did you not realize that's not what you were doing
because
until
it
now?
has, because it has witches in it and it has fantastical elements in it, and I don't know what I'm doing. I've never written a novel before. God damn it! But so then I was
Well, I
like,
mean, it could be both. There's like psychological horror.
right, and like there's the one that comes to mind is The Shining, where it's definitely like a psychological thriller, but there's like supernatural elements in it, like
Yeah.
this is it can be done, But so I
Yeah.
don't have
Oh,
to
totally. There's a lot of I like psychological horrors and thrillers and stuff.
right, but so all of a sudden all of the stuff that I had been looking at as a liability in my genre are features instead of bugs.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's just kind of got smatterings of supernatural stuff and isn't really focused on that.
Well, yeah, it's mostly what it does to the mind. And it's just
Yeah.
like
Or like the bit
those
where
are
her brothers lock her in the dungeon when she's a little kid is like great foreshadowing for like gothic horror and not so much fantasy. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
Sorry.
no, laugh because it's so insane. It's been 3 years I've been writing in the wrong genre. And it makes so much more sense. Me as a fantasy author doesn't make any sense anyway because I haven't read any of that shit
Lord of the Rings.
years ago. But I've actually read Fight Club and The Shining. I've actually read them, as books. Like this makes so much more sense for me as a writer, and I'm just like, you know what it was though? It took me all this time to really get to know my character because I just it seems really straightforward, and then the character turns out to be a pretty unreliable narrator. Like later on, like not at first, like she's
I love
okay
that,
at first, yeah, and then this sort of deteriorates as the story goes on, and like I haven't wanted to tell people about the story because it's so kind of horrible and like.
That would be horror, psychological horror.
I know. And then, the twist at the end is that there might be hope.
Oh, but see, the thing is with the
Like,
for me,
not to give away the ending, but
the best psychological horror though for me is when there's what's been left is not exactly hope.
No, you're right. There might
it shows what happened. Like that's the horror about it was when you indulge in like the horror.
Oh, don't worry. There's plenty of
and it's supposed to be like
oh my god.
Lesson.
Okay, let's see. For example, we have 2 suicide attempts for one thing. Like 20 years apart. And no, 40 years apart. What am I saying? And like a ghost who's not a ghost. Like because there's no real ghosts. Okay.
Yeah.
This is an extremely haunted location that's well known for being haunted, but there are no real ghosts in the story. There's magic, but there's no real ghosts.
Okay.
And it's established in the text, like, we know magic, so we're experts at magic. So when we say that ghosts are not real, we as the reader can believe that. So that when a ghost shows up on page, you as the reader know that that's not what that is. Does that make sense? Like, within the story logic, we have established that magic is real and ghosts are not.
Mm-hmm.
So when a ghost shows up on page, you as the reader can sit back and go, wait, what? Mm-hmm. What is that? And like, it ends up, she's hallucinating, of course, because of grief. Like, oh my God, like I can't even.
Yeah, that sounds more like psychological, like horror.
Right, yeah, but I haven't actually sat down and got to really tell this plot to anyone to like tell them what, like to have someone look at me and go, you realize that's horrifying, right? Like.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't. That's so funny.
Yeah. And I just need to go. Nothing changes about the plot of the story. It all makes so much more sense this way, and I can just go back and tweak the wording a little bit here and there. Like literally, I don't have to change anything.
Yeah. No, I love it when psychological horror gives false it gives a false interpretation of like the world, like an unreliable narration.
Right. It starts out as and like I've said, I may have told you this before, like our magic system, we start out as a pretty straightforward, like a hard magic system where we're going to go to witch school and learn how to use magic, and then it turns out to be like a super woolly soft magic system by the end.
Yeah.
Nothing that you're introduced to
and
at
it's
the
more
beginning
based upon the PSD and of like and experiences of like character.
Right. It's all filtered through the very intense experience of the kid. No, yeah, I know. They're great.
That's so funny. I'm sorry.
No. I laughed too. I laughed really hard when I figured this out. I was just, and you know what it was? I was listening to just a random writing advice video because I just listen to them like for fun, for soft background noise when I can't take the world anymore.
And then something they said or whatever that's kind
and it was literally just happened to accidentally be, here's how psychological horror works. And I was like, holy fuck, my book has all of these.
That's so funny.
Then
that's so funny.
So,
That's so funny.
yeah. And then that's
What
why
kind
it's
of
like sort of a slow burn, where you're like, okay, we're adding things up and something's going to happen with them, right? Oh, yeah. Something's definitely going to happen with them. I'll tell you that much. Like,
what are you like for yourself anyways, as like what do you like, is that like a genre that you really are into?
no, that's what as I say, it makes so much more sense for me as a person anyway.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I have actually read a couple of things in this genre and enjoyed them. And
That's
I've
so interesting
seen
that you didn't realize that
a
though
bunch
then.
of the movies too. Yeah, I just had, yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Because that's definitely something that I more prefer than say fantasy or
Right.
whatever is horror and psychological horror. Like I said before, I'm into horror. I like it when it's
Right.
campy, but I
No,
don't
right.
like this just slasher. It's not the horror matter. It's the actual plot, the psychology of it.
Right. And this is why I had to come and talk to you about this. I had this realization like literally 3 days ago, and I went, "Oh, damn, we had a whole conversation about this."
Yeah, we did. We
And I'm
did.
feeling
Oh my God, we did.
and I'm sitting there thinking of horror as like, horror, like films, like gore
Yeah.
and Saw and whatever, and I can't deal with that shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't mind the gore aspect, but I like the psychology, and the plot. There needs to be an actual plot, not slasher. I hate slashers; they're boring as fuck. It's just let's show off different ways of how to kill someone
Right,
violently in the
right,
most
right,
violent,
right.
shocking way. Like that's boring as fuck. I'm sorry, it is. It just is. There's no thought process to it. There's no psychology to it.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I can't deal with that shit at all.
For
So,
no reason. It's
right.
disgusting for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, my character doesn't have any children, or we'd have the body horror in there too. It just isn't in the plot. It's just not there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wish that I could have worked that in there, but it just doesn't.
If we were having actual discussions on, it would have
Yeah.
been great.
Yeah, no, and I know you don't want spoilers, so I don't know what I shouldn't tell. I
Well,
don't
no,
want to.
that's good enough because then I can wrap my mind like a different, like, like not expecting, but having a better idea of what you're going to see.
Right,
If I'm still in this thought process that it's supposed to be fantasy, then it'll be confusing.
right. No, and my older son was making that point when I was talking with him about this the other night. He's like, why do these labels really matter? Like, shouldn't you be just writing the story that you don't want to like stay too conventional, be too tropey? I'm like, no, but on the other hand, like you want to be able to tell people what to
Yeah, but you
expect
can't. Well,
within a certain.
you also can't be telling them it's something that it's not.
Right, and that's how you like attract the readers who would enjoy what you've written.
Yeah. Well,
Because
even if that's not important, if a reader goes in expecting something and you give something completely different, that's like false advertising.
right, and so they're going to be angry about it, even if they might have enjoyed the story had you told them what it was.
Yeah, because they bought it with a certain expectation that you provided.
Right. I know it just is so it's and this feels like the missing keystone of like the whole thing that I'm trying to do, right? Because I'm trying to present myself like as an author, and this just makes so
Okay,
much
well,
more
here's a question.
sense. Yeah.
What's your? You said that's your style, right?
Mhm.
What's your favorite story, whatever, film, book, comic, or anything that?
See, I used to really love Fight Club. I wrote a short story inspired by Fight Club. That's the other thing is I've already written a psychological thriller. I've already written one. I forgot about it.
Oh my goodness! See, that's funny.
Yeah, it really is.
I've actually never read it. I've only seen the film.
The ending in the movie is better. He says so, and I agree. I like the ending in the movie better.
Good. Okay.
Because he was one of those. He's like he saw the movie and went, "Damn, I wish I thought of that." Like,
yeah, that's the same thing when it comes to The Mist because of what happened at the end. And at the end, they changed the end.
Oh wow.
Stephen King's novella that he wrote. It was only a
Mhm.
novella, but yeah,
Mhm.
he changed the end, and it was so more impactful. The psychology horror of it was
Yeah.
so
See,
more
and
impactful that you're
he
like,
hates.
oh my god, like you just like almost you just like feel so almost insane because of like what had
Right. It ends
occurred
up
as
being
the main
like,
protagonist.
yeah, it ends up being like not that big a deal. Is that right? Am I remembering this right?
What?
It ends up. It's like one of those things where like they think it's like the whole world is like destroyed, and it turns out to be like just their neighborhood or some shit like that.
For the mist?
Yeah, I don't remember the ending
No. Do you
though.
mind
Okay.
if I spoil?
No.
Okay, so in the book, they end after because there's a miss. And it was the government actually who, at a naval whatever military base, had opened up a portal to like a different dimension, whatever. And anyways, and what happened was it exploded, and so the mist is sort of like the world opening up into a different total dimension of like all these crazy like monsters that evolved differently from
Ew.
like yeah, so that and then the protagonist and his son are in the grocery store when it happens, right? So they're sort of confined, and it's a psychology of like group psychology of when people are terrified. And so
Right.
one lady who's used to be known to be just a religious nut starts gathering a following, right? And then they think that they have to like sacrifice like people to keep the beasts at bay because they've like, um offended God, and this is all God's creation, right? For going too far with his miraculous, life and all that, right?
Right.
Anyway, so there's a group of them that decide to try to escape by getting into the car and leaving because like they are at this point murdering people,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so one of the protagonists, he's with his son, right? And so
Mhm.
a couple of them um, are able to get to that car without getting eaten or killed off by the creatures out there. And so then they're trying to get like away from the mist, like out of it, right? See how as far
Mhm.
as it will take them. In the
Mhm.
and in the book, we end sort of just like it's a non-ending almost, where they end up like getting gas, going to like a motel area, and like it ends with them not knowing what like the future because they're stuck now at this motel. The end. In the movie, it's different. In the
Yeah.
movie, they are driving until they run out of gas, and because they're the self and cleared the mist, they all decided that they have to they rather off themselves rather than have the creatures get them. And he
Okay.
promised his son who's with him, who's like a little boy, that he wouldn't let the monsters get him. So they're in the car and he gets the gun. They only have so many bullets, right? So
Mhm.
he can only have 4 bullets, and there's 4 people plus him. So he kills off everyone. First being his son, who was
Right.
sleeping, but he wakes up right before he shoots him.
Oh my
And then
god.
he's like, I'll think of something, right? And so after
Yeah.
he shoots everyone, kills them to, like as a
Uh-huh.
mercy kill, he opens the door and he's like, "Come on, just get me, just like get this over with." All of a sudden, the mist clears and the like everyone's cut like all the military men are like clearing out the
It's
mist
a
and
rug
everything starts
pull.
to clear up, and he just killed
Right.
his son.
Right. It's a rug pull. That's what I thought. That's what I was gonna. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what happens, and that's way more and then he just like starts freaking out. He just starts screaming, and everyone like
Right.
the military there are like trying to like calm him down because they don't know what he just did. He just killed
Right.
his son. He just killed his
Right.
kid.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
like thinking that so the monsters wouldn't get him, but if he waited
Right.
just
Right.
two
Right.
minutes, everything would have been solved. They would have made
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. The moral of that is don't shoot your kid, I guess.
But I mean, but you still understand why he did it,
No, no, yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Like he
yeah,
thought
yeah,
that
yeah,
they
yeah.
were just done for, that there was nothing else they could have they could do. They tried all that they could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rug pull is definitely memorable, and Stephen King liked it, huh? I know he hated The Shining, which I don't
Yeah.
blame him. I don't
Yeah.
like the movie is just a different animal, like
Yeah.
the whole point
Yeah.
of the book is that you do watch this guy slowly lose his mind, and in the
Mhm.
movie, Jack Nicholson is crazy right from the beginning. So
Yeah, he's a dick
he's he's
the
he's,
whole
he's Jack
time.
Nicholson.
Yeah.
who just has
Jack
this like
Nicholson has always
barely
sort of
held back.
giving me the uncanny valley creep factor.
Right, exactly. Jack Nicholson has this just barely held back sort of creepiness to him anyway.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
I would never have cast him in that role personally. I think it defeats the whole purpose of the story. And I completely agree with Stephen King. I understand why he doesn't like that movie.
Yeah.
Um, but, you know, if you appreciate it as its own beast, I
It's just
think it,
the fact that The Mist had a better ending, and even Stephen King agreed, I think
yeah.
is actually just very commendable because for the most part, the majority, book is usually better. Gotta say.
Right on.
Or most
I
out
haven't.
there.
See, and I liked The Shining, and then I didn't read any more Stephen King after that. I'm not sure why.
It's he's got some good gems in there, but a lot of it is really over
Oh wait, yeah, I
indulgent.
do.
Yeah,
My high
blah.
school boyfriend was obsessed with the Dark Tower.
Oh,
Which,
I actually never read the Dark Tower series I've had. I
like,
read a lot of this stuff,
explain
but
to
like
me.
I never
Okay,
actually read that.
so you can't. Well, because it's not the same kind of thing at all.
Yeah.
Because the
Well,
Dark Tower is
there's
a
some
fucking
stories like that
fantasy
that are very
series.
different from each other, where it's not
Yeah.
like say misery.
No, and like people like to bring out that opening line about the gunslinger dragged across the desert, something something, and I'm just like, wow, I already don't care.
Yeah.
That's a lame. That's the lamest, one of the lamest opening lines to a great series I've ever heard. I already don't give a fuck.
I think my favorite would be it if they didn't if you didn't put in that weird fucking like scene at the end that
I
is
know that I
completely
even know the one you're
like.
talking about. I
Did
haven't
you
read
have an
it, and then
editor? Because the
no.
editor should have caught that and been like, "Take the fuck that out. What are you doing? Should we check your hard drive?"
Right. I don't think, and that's the point. That's the thing is that at that point in his career, he probably didn't have an editor.
No,
They
I know he
probably
probably didn't
weren't.
have, but that's why it's so fucking overbloated because, and then why it's so like
Yeah,
big. It's
yeah.
because there's so much in there that just barfed out.
Stuff that doesn't need to be in there, apparently.
Yeah.
Newsflash: childhood gangbangs never, ever need
Yeah,
to
never a
happen.
good idea to put
Ever.
childhood gangbang in your
Never
book
need to
for
happen.
no reason. That is like literally no reason. There was no
Which,
reason.
you know, my book still doesn't include any rape.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, not good, but like even for the fact that there wasn't even a reason. It
Yeah.
was just went in there for no reason and then just happened for no reason. It had no like it had no consequence to the story of the plot.
No,
So
because I mean, they took it out of obviously every subsequent version of it, didn't they?
Ugh, fuck. But anyways, but I think one of the my favorites of it, like I like the concept of it, but that there's that big critical issue of like like bloated, and then the
Right.
weird shit that's in it, like that. That
Well, and
end
I'm
one, like
sort of,
that whole childhood gaming was like, what the fuck?
yeah,
But
no,
the
but like,
best
so,
one I'd have to say would be Pet Cemetery. I love that book.
Okay.
That book made me cry at the end with the kid because the way that it doesn't really, even in the movie, the first movie, it doesn't explain some things that like really like heart wrenching. Explain some heart wrenching things that is explained in the book.
Right.
Like,
They left a lot of the psychological part out of the movie. They tend to do that.
yeah,
And
like
focus up on
when
the
he kills
horror.
his kid again, because it's the Wendigo. They don't even explain that in the movie either. It's actually the beast is the Wendigo.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay. I didn't
right.
even know Wendigos were
So what
involved.
he does
Holy
is that they're
shit.
dead, and then they bring him back but what's possessed him is the Wendigo from the
Oh.
wood. And
Oh.
when he kills his kid with the shit that he injects in him, right, for like, his veterinarian toxic whatever that to kill off, or to let vet pets pass, right? When he uses that and kills his kid, he sees the Wendigo spirit leave the kid's body and is left with the kid there, not knowing what's going on. All he knows is his father's hurting him, and then he's dying. Like, so he realized, and then he realizes that the kid has actually was there the whole time, having to witness this and having to experience all the horrors of his killing his mother, killing the neighbor, like killing and actually like literally the grossest fucking gore, and this kid's like 4 years
Yeah.
old, and that he's actually had experience that had to go through that without any the ability to actually function in his body and stop it. And then the last thing that he saw before he died again was his father killing him. Which is like that, like it. Then the way that was written, it's sad, right? Because of the way they talk
Yeah.
about how he knows.
See, and this I think actually is why I didn't read any more Stephen King. Like what? like I don't. Okay, two things actually. Number one, the 1-2 punch of like, okay, so you got me down emotionally because of the psychological stuff and the horror of it all. And then you're going to kick me while I'm down by pummeling my face with a rope mallet. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
Fuck you
because
too.
I think that's appropriate. I do think it's appropriate because that's what happens
I
when we
didn't say
indulge.
it was inappropriate. I'm just saying, fuck you too. I don't like gore. I don't think it's necessary. Like
It's
some
not about the
bloodshed,
gore. It's the
okay, fine.
psychology of it's the
Yeah, yeah,
psychology of
yeah.
knowing that your child went through, and the fact that serves
Right.
as a warning, right, of the story. Let things lie in peace.
The other
You don't
thing
know
that I
what, like,
didn't,
don't interfere with that shit.
and the other thing about it was like he seems to have developed, and I love this idea, and I'm trying to incorporate this idea into my story actually. The idea of like a location as being like some kind of an entity almost, like unto itself, through like the collected energies of whatever. And I feel like he's done this at least twice, right? With the Overlook Hotel and then with Derry as the town, right?
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with Pet Cemetery, the woods.
Oh, is it?
The
Okay.
gravesite. That's the collective energy that allows it, right?
Oh, okay.
That's why it's an
Okay, so
Indian burial ground, because the Wendigo is Native American
right.
mythology.
Right, like I was kind of, that's why I was like, oh, I didn't realize Wendigos were involved.
Yeah.
Mr. King.
Movie doesn't
Okay.
explain that.
No, I haven't seen the movie.
The movie's not bad. The first one. Do not even remotely try to watching the remake. It is such bullshit. It's so stupid. It does not. It's irritatingly stupid.
Got it.
It's not smart. It's just like it's just irritating to try to watch. I couldn't even finish it. I had to turn it off. I'm like, this is just shit.
No, but so I found like way that they always, I love you. I will be off here soon, and then we're gonna go to the library. I don't know. I found the way that like I watched it, and I found the way that like, and I know that this isn't how the book ends. I mean, I don't really know how the book ends, I guess, but like in the movie, it turned out to be like a giant alien entity, like a giant spider from space, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
That's not how. No. I thought we were doing like an Overlook Hotel, like accumulated negativity, like becomes evil entity kind of thing. No, alien spider. What?
No, it's a god.
Sure. It's a spider that you can stab. What the fuck is that all about? That's dumb. I'm sorry.
Can stab.
The ending of that movie was so disappointing. I'm still upset about it.
You can stab.
Like, isn't that how they, like, I swear that's how they killed it at the end of the first, it's been a long time.
No, they actually have to go in, they have to actually, like, it's a ritual that they actually have to do, where they actually just stand there and they only fight through the mind.
Oh, okay.
And they can only kill it that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't die by physical means, because it's a god.
Right. Are we talking about the old movie?
I'm talking about the book, sorry.
Right. See, I'm talking about the movie, which I watched, and then I never read the book because the movie was such a disappointment.
I don't remember. I don't remember for some reason the end of the movie.
Because it's very bad.
But the thing is, I have that movie, so like, is when I was like, I used to have DVDs, obviously, when I was a kid, and I have a bunch of horror movies still, and I watched it. I can't fucking remember the ending of that one.
Well, you blocked it out because it was that terrible. It's very, very disappointing.
I guess
maybe. Very bad. Yeah. No, I enjoyed The Shining so much that I read the book. And that's the way that I still recommend to this day.
I remember now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's not what happens in the book.
I know. It being a god is slightly less dumb.
Both movies actually is not what happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even bother watching the new one. I was like, that's 6 hours of my life from when I was a kid. I'm never gonna get back. I'm good.
It wasn't that bad. But I mean,
Ooh,
it's still not like the book, but I wish the book just wasn't fucking weird when it comes to the fucking ending of the
yeah,
childhood gangbang. Like, why?
yeah,
I think actually it was after that I read that I stopped playing Stephen King.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, I'm glad I
It
never
was
read
the
that one at
weirdest
this point.
thing that came out of nowhere and
For
for
some
no
reason,
reason.
so the next
Oh,
one, maybe it was the next one that he published chronologically. The next one that I had in my sights after The Shining was Carrie. And for some reason, as like a 16-year-old girl, the ravings of a middle-aged alcoholic interested me, but a high school girl's horror story did not. I can't imagine why that would be.
Christy? Yeah, I don't.
Carrie.
Oh,
Yeah, I was. That was the next one that was on my radar for some reason after The Shining, and I just never got around to it. I just too close to
I find
home.
it
I
mostly
think.
boring.
I really just think the subject matter was too close to home for me. I just don't think like
Oh,
watching Jack Torrance lose his mind was entertaining enough because it was like
yeah,
I'm not middle aged or a man or an alcoholic. I don't know anything about any of that shit. So watching it was like horrifying, but less like personally scary.
yeah. Trying to
Watching
think of
some
others.
unpopular girl get picked on and bitched out by her mother just seems like that's too
Yeah.
soon.
I'm trying to think of other stories and stuff because I like for I haven't read a lot for enjoyment, like it's fictional stuff for like a
You're
while
right.
because it's
Right.
mostly
No, and I'm
nonfiction
very
that I've read.
picky. I'm extremely picky. And I think I've
I'm
said this on here
picky.
before.
Things have gotten worse in the bookish like
Books.
sphere, and
Mhm.
I read a lot of nonfiction too, like a lot of actual like things that have to do with the real world because I think it's important, and I think there's a lot to it that I think that they try to push for fiction, like movies and all that, to try to get away from people actually knowing about stuff that's happening that affects them.
Yeah, escapism. There's definitely an element of
Yeah,
that.
it's escapism, and then try to overload people with that so they don't focus on important things to change things.
Guys, we'll be off here soon. Can you go play with them or something maybe? Oh, the boys walked away and now the dog is just over there flipping out. I'm sorry. You were saying.
That's okay. But there was one psychological horror that I've read, probably the last one I've ever read was
Mhm.
it was actually a comic which I thought was really good. I read the whole thing like the whole thing like almost in one go, I think.
Mhm.
Now it's Killing Stalking, and that one doesn't have any supernatural aspects to it, but it
Mhm.
relies on the more that it goes on, the two main characters have unreliable narratives, and so they
Mm.
start to hallucinate things that happen,
Oh,
and you
nice.
have to really sort. Since it's a comic, it doesn't tell you that they're happening, so it's kind of you have to try to determine which is what's happening, which isn't, and there's little telltale sort of signs that will inform you whether it's real or it's a hallucination, which I find
See,
interesting.
that's great because that's one of the things that pisses me off about this genre is when people like, okay, there was a movie where I'm trying to remember, okay, because I've watched a bunch of stuff about this genre in the last couple of days trying to catch up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and then there's a movie where you're presented that he hallucinates, and so the Joker. That's what it was. Where we're shown that that he imagines things, right? And so
yeah,
then you, as the audience, are left to just wonder how much of the movie has been in his imagination. And I just kind of skipped to the part of saying, well, all of it. What was the point of that?
yeah. No. The what's going on with this comic, Killing Stalking, is
Right.
it's certain only very specific scenes, and there's a little red tint to the sort of
Okay. There
outskirts, and then
should
there's
be.
other things that you focus that will be there that disappear while things are happening, And so you just have to look for those context clues. So it
Right.
doesn't tell
Okay.
you, but it visually does if you're
There
paying
should
enough
be.
attention.
Exactly. And if you're paying close enough attention, there should be some way to know
Yeah.
whether or not your protagonist is being unreliable. Because otherwise, you're just taking them for a ride. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, and
It's not a
it's not
puzzle.
all a lot of it. It's only particular parts when things get like really tense for the characters, and then certain scenario, and they're big scenarios, but they'll tend to tint the sort of the outer edge colors of the box, the drawn box red, and certain things will appear and disappear in the next box but they're small things.
Like
So
you
I've talked to people who've read it too, and they're like, I can't believe this happened. Like, that didn't happen. That was a hallucination. That was a unreliable narrative aspect.
and they
That
didn't
part.
they
And then
didn't
even
catch it.
caught it.
Yeah. But if you pay close enough attention, there should be a way for you as
I
like the
caught it,
outside
because I
observer.
figured out when they were doing it because of
Right.
those context clues. So you really got to pay
Right.
attention to that.
Right. And so that's the kind of thing like where
Also, too,
if
it did really happen, it doesn't make logical sense that it happened that way too, as well. If you actually
right,
think about it, it
right.
only makes sense if it didn't occur. But you
But you have to
understand
really
then
think about it.
why the character afterwards is acting the way they are.
Right. And if I do my ending right, there's like two interpretations that one might have that could be true simultaneously, and like that's obviously a psychological thriller kind of an ending, right? Like what the I don't know what I
Yeah.
thought I was doing. I think I forgot I think I forgot psychological thriller existed as a genre, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know.
No. Yeah, that the comic I'm talking about, actually, when it first came out, like, there was a big hate on for it, I guess, because of like people, I guess, created fandoms from it. And like really like, because it's about an abusive relation. It's about the cycle of abuse, and how like and what happens when you actually indulge in the things that like in your in abusive situations. If you indulge in the same sort of habits, and the cycle continues, and how it does, right? And what happens to you when like at its final conclusion, right? So that's the sort of main thing of the story, and it's about two gay guys, actually, right? And it's almost like Misery.
Hang on a second. Hang on. We are going to the library as soon as I get off. Where are we going to the park? We're going to the park with your brother. He's at school right now. You can go pick up at this point, we might as well just wait for him to get home. Listen, let me talk to my friend for another little while, and then I will get off of here, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with our day. Dude. Little while. No, it really doesn't. I'm sure she has stuff she wants to do today too. I can't believe you read that whole book. Come here. Your children. Yeah.
Hello.
He can't hear you.
Oh.
You said hello.
I said hello too.
In my earphones, so he can't hear you.
Yeah, that's why. Well, here's my hand. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so there's this and it's not supposed to be a relation, like it's not a love story, right? But I guess there was a fandom where they were doing lots of like, shipping or whatever, fans are.
Oh, yeah.
And there so lots of people saw that and were like disgusted, right? Because and so a lot of people kind of put it out there because it interpreted that this was about just like a dark romance story when it wasn't. It was a psychological horror. It never promoted itself as a romance or dark romance. It's always been in the genre horror.
But people just saw this fanfic and then they came in expecting that. Oh my god!
And I think it really affected like sort of like its ability to and its outreach to people, because people had this sort of idea of what it was, what it wasn't, which kind of
Oh
sucks because
wow.
I think it's a really good story, right?
Oh, and honey, I can't hear you. She's talking to me. What?
What are you guys talking about?
Books. She was telling me about a book. Um,
Doesn't have that hour we talk about.
yeah, probably. Come here, honey. Come here. Can you go play Minecraft or something for a little while as a special treat since you finished a whole book today? Would that work? And then I'll come interrupt you and make you unhappy then as well.
Nice, there you go.
Oh,
But yeah, so anyway, so a lot of people like really like shat on it for a long time, and I think it really stunted like its reach. But the reason
oh
why
my
I actually
god.
even read it was because how much people hated it. It got me curious, right?
Nice. There's one in every crowd. More power to you. Sometimes I am that person.
Well, because a lot of the time I find that people don't know what the hell they're talking about because they just assume things for themselves.
That's true.
Because like oh, this gross, like it's trying to normalize and fetishize like abusive behavior. I'm like, none of that is true. Like hell, it like even in the end, the two people, the two main characters, like they literally end up dying because of what they're doing. Like it's not
Oh,
like it's not a good, and they're not together. Like it's because it's like Misery almost.
right. You said that. Like Misery, the
Yeah,
Stephen King book.
yeah.
Okay.
Because one character is actually stalking another character who he
Oh.
knew because he has a really his you get into the background of how he became like that. He's very
Hmm.
like yeah. So both of these characters, by the way, are horrible people.
Mm.
But you understand the reason why they're horrible is because of cycle abuse, right? So, but he sort of goes out and he stalks people. He gets obsessed with people, right? And
Yeah.
he ends up getting obsessed with his college uh, another classmate or whatever. And so he actually stalks to his house, goes hears something. So he goes in the basement and he finds a woman tied up with her legs broken and shit like that. And he gets bashed over the head. Turns out he actually was a serial killer. That's why it's called killing stalking.
Oh,
And so
nice.
he's manipulating the guy, and he forms like Stockholm syndrome and stuff like that. Like he busts his leg so he can't leave, and
Yeah.
like yeah, he just like he abuses him. Like, and the guy gets Stockholm syndrome, and then the guy, the serial killer ends up sort of kind of forcing him to do what he does, and tries to like project shit onto him, and like very manipulative, right? Just so they can get what he wants. I don't want to go full on into it because it's gonna sound crazy,
Oh,
but
hi,
yeah.
Scott.
Hi. Anyways, yeah. So that's what that's about, and like I'm like, how does anyone take this and think that this is a dark romance? I'm like, nothing about it, like narratively speaking, is
No, but it
romantic.
got
But like,
somebody's nethers going, so they wrote some hot fanfic about it. They got
yeah,
put around. Yeah.
yeah, and then because seeing that, people were like, "Oh my god, this must mean it's like a romance that's literally excusing this behavior." I'm like, "No, that it's the point of the
Wow.
story is when you
Thank you.
indulge in your most abusive and mentally unhealthy sort of facets of like your PTSD. Like
Yeah.
this is nothing to do with love.
No, it doesn't sound romantic at
No,
all.
not at all. And I was so like
Whew.
confused by this because I'm like, how does anyone mistaken this for a romance?
Well, Scott, hey, since you're here, the big news today is that I figured out I've been writing in the wrong genre for 3 years, and I'm actually writing a psychological thriller and not a fantasy novel at all. So, um, I mean, there's fantasy elements to it. I haven't changed the story at all. You understand? It's just what
She had
happens
an
when you,
epiphany.
yeah, wow, yeah, exactly, right? Wow is right. Yeah, that's a pretty good response for it. But like, I'm sitting here realizing that it is, I'm very opinionated about what I like in my psychological thrillers, and I don't want like sexual assault. Obviously, we've been over that. Nobody. That's not in there. Like There's not a lot of gore. Is there some bloodshed? Well, yeah. There has to be something to be afraid of. But like it's not really gory. There just isn't any of that. Like it's all the stuff I like without any of the stuff that I don't. And I just can't believe I just know.
Yeah, so
Let it
it's
never
weird. I
be
cannot
said.
even see the chat, which is so weird.
Oh wow, that is weird. Let it never be said that my creative process is not organic. Holy shit.
That reminds me, because you said you liked Horror Scott, right? Did you end up watching Ginger Snaps?
Yes, good question. While he answers you, I'm going to walk away a little bit so you
Let
can
me know
see
what he
what's
does, because I can't see him.
Okay, check out my new awning. Can you see it?
Oh,
Where is
yeah.
it? Yeah. Oh, my head's in the way.
Oh, look at the garden, too. Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to move the wall
That's
because,
good. Look at you.
yeah, thank you. I've been out here. Like, I finally have my energy back, okay? I spent most of last year on my ass because turns out I was rather sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I finally have energy. I mean, I had some help putting all of this up. The guys came out and helped me one day, and he helped me. My husband helped me especially with the roof because wow.
Yeah.
But like, yes, we have a real awning now, you guys.
Woo!
Yeah, and our garden wall is here.
I love that little. Yeah, that's so cute. I love it. I love the stonework that you put out there. Oh, Dougie.
Yeah, there's Duncan.
So
Oh, thank you. Yes. So this
what did
is our
Scott say?
it's overcast here. I'll get to it. UBTV is showing it for free. Okay. We have until next week when I put up the video that I haven't finished yet.
Also, YouTube. It's on YouTube. You can just look for it like right on YouTube for free.
It's kind of overcast here too. You know, it wasn't earlier, but it is now.
Yeah, I'm just curious because like since you haven't seen it, it's a good movie. It's one of my favorite horror ones.
Yeah, that one's just straight up horror, right? Where
Yeah, but it's got a plot.
yeah.
So it's not a slasher. It's not a slasher.
I'm not
just
not
put it out there.
disrespecting to that, and like I don't know. I have
Oh
to
no, I
be
didn't say you were. I just want to make sure people know that it's not a slasher.
yeah. Looks brighter where you are. Yeah, well, it's sort of hazy overcast, not like heavy overcast, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's how it's like here too.
That's just oh god. Thank you so much
Oh
for
wait, no,
talking
it's all
with me
sunny
about this.
now. Oh, it changed.
Ooh, sun came out over there. Okay. Yeah, but so thank you so much for chit chatting with me about this because I'm just
Yeah,
uh
I just don't know why I'm not seeing anyone else's comments now.
it's weird, yeah. But it's just it's just like I don't know. I'm just like so right up here with the story, and I don't know. Ha 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 ha. And it's taken me the last couple of years of ironing out some of the plot elements to really look at it and go, yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. I was gonna
Mm.
ask you, what's Amanda's channel again?
Oh,
Or
the
what's her
one
name? What?
GM. Do you remember that? It was like Great Mother or something like that, or Good
GM?
Mother. Yeah, like
I don't
that's what
remember.
it had. It would. I can't check any of my notifications because I'm using the thing to
That's okay.
film
I'll
right
try
now.
to see if I can find it later.
Yeah,
But
it was basically unfindable. It was so generic as to be basically unfindable.
yeah.
I can send you the screenshots of
No, that's all.
my
Well, yeah, maybe you could.
notifications, but like, yeah, and it was just her resharing or like editing, I guess, the stuff from a couple of years ago,
Oh yeah.
where she had talked about like, yeah, because I changed the name of my channel, I think is what it was.
Oh.
So she was editing it to be the current because it now said the current name of my channel. I was like, oh, okay, we got to stay updated on that, do we? Okay. No, but so being a psychological thriller writer makes so much more. Like, and I'm going in this direction of like the mysteries of life. Like
Yeah.
talking about mysterious, open-ended things that are going to make people uncomfortable. Like, hello,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, my book and my channel make so much more sense together, and
Mhm.
I'm a marketing genius over here. Like,
'Cause,
clearly, the world better look out.
yeah, it's not coming up. The GM something.
Oh.
All I know was GMs.
Right, yeah, because it stands for Game Master. I just like it
Oh,
was
is that
so
what that is?
yeah, it was so incredibly generic as to be unsearchable, basically. And the only reason I could find her a couple of years ago is because she kept tagging me and shit. Chuck Norris died today. Yeah, I think we covered that at the beginning of the stream.
Oh, he did he?
Yeah, and they're saying that Netanyahu is officially dead now too. Had you heard about
Of course
that?
he is. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's
That
old
I can do.
news, is it? I just don't
Oh
know.
yeah. It is.
Uh, one down and like 20 to go, right?
Yeah.
Two, if you believe Jeffrey Epstein is dead.
I don't know about that. It could be either or.
Right,
Really,
I
at this point.
know. Like, if there was ever a guy that they were gonna fake his death and whisk him away to safety, it would be that guy, right? Come
Yeah,
on.
it would be. It would be. It would be.
Like, as if
Definitely would
anything else about that guy was straightforward or above board. Why start now?
be.
However, if he is in Israel playing Fortnite or whatever, then we are
I don't think that. I don't think he's playing Fortnite. I
because
think
that's
someone just
fucking
used his
stupid.
name
Yeah,
because it was funny to them from Israel.
right,
But I
right.
know that there are photos of someone who does tend to look like him, but he's all shaggy, and he's got people like guys following him like a fucking bodyguards.
The
In Israel.
logic just tends to dictate that.
And considering that all the things such as that they removed the video of when he supposedly died and they chopped up and they edited it,
Right,
the fact that
right.
the coroner's paper showed that supposedly he died the night before that he died, and it was documented that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe in
God,
coincidences, that especially when there's more than one.
right, yeah. The chain of them like that? No way.
Yeah, the chain of
God
the
says
chain of
there's
them.
no confirmation on Netanyahu's death. I don't know. My husband told me that Netanyahu's son shared it, so I don't know.
Maybe he did, but I do know
I
that
really-
they're trying really hard by giving people AI fucking videos. That
Right?
there would be no point of them doing that if he was really alive.
Yeah,
If they
those were
wouldn't be acting
so
so
weird.
desperately.
Those were so weird. And I have just been, ever since AI got good enough to make like 15-second videos, like a TikTok that's convincing, I'm like, this shit's going to be on the news. And I've just been waiting.
Yeah, but they weren't even that convincing because like there was a lot of tells.
No, I know. Like the moving pocket. But people broadcast that shit anyway. It became international news anyway.
I know, but they don't care if it's fake or not. But the thing is, people can tell at least, though.
Right,
of course they
yeah.
would fucking put that out. They're not giving the news. They know they're not giving the news. They're giving propaganda. They know that. If they knew it was fake, it wouldn't matter. They still present it as if it wasn't.
Yeah, and it was bad enough. They had all of those mistakes in it. I mean, is that the best they could do? Because that might almost be encouraging.
Yeah.
If that's the best they can do.
Yeah, it is encouraging because that is the best they can do.
Wow.
They've overhyped themselves up, and they've started to believe their own goddamn myth of their tech fucking abilities.
Yes. Oh my God, I saw something. My favorite. My favorite thing I've seen the last couple of days was somebody talking about, and I wish there were more about this. How the chat GPT whatever is making the tech bros insane too.
Oh yeah.
Like Like the people who are
Oh,
supposed to be in charge of this stuff are completely high on their
yeah,
own
well, I
farts
think
on
they were
this.
insane before, or more just psychopathic before.
Right,
Now they're just starting to go psychopathically insane.
right, right. Because if this thing that thing can convince a teenager to kill himself, it can convince somebody who already has megalomaniacal tendencies that they are the Messiah, right? Like,
Yeah, like Teal, who
yes,
believes that shit, and also believes that Greta Thunberg is the devil. Jesus
that's
Christ!
hilarious. That's
I know,
hilarious.
right?
I mean, and that guy, considering what he is doing, like actually doing in real life, he must be living in the ultimate, like, cognitive dissonance, right? Oh no,
Well,
it couldn't
delusion.
be
It's delusion
me.
because he's so disassociated from any sort of human fucking entity that's like literally human at this point.
No, right, but like, he's doing the stuff that it said the Antichrist would do, meanwhile pointing the finger at other people, accusing them of being the Antichrist. And it's like, my dude, the projection is
Yeah,
real. The projection is almost
but the
physical.
projection is
Like,
real. Yeah,
wow.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy world out there.
Yeah. Oh, I hope we make it to Easter though, because then we'll know that the world didn't end,
Yep.
right? Like that's. I hate to make excuses, but that's been like every time I don't know. How am I supposed to make a video about anything else? They're literally trying to enact the apocalypse right now. How is anybody supposed to think about anything else? Huh.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything to say on that topic other than, are you fucking crazy? You people are fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The hell is wrong
Well,
with
shit's
you?
still crazy. Like it's going down pretty fast with going to
I
happen with
know.
Iran and shit like that.
I
They
know.
just bombed. Israel just bombed fucking Qatar oil field, like where like 70% or no, like I don't, yeah, something like a huge global market of LNG gas comes from. So that's destroyed. Took like over 700 billion fucking dollars to make and implement, and now it's all gone. They won't be able to reconcile, and that's a lot of the global fucking use that's just going to be sitting there not being extracted, and there's no way to extract it, which is okay, but like that's going to affect everything. It's fertilizer, even not just like
Yeah.
gas, but fertilizer. But so things are bad real quick, and they're sorry. Hello.
Hello.
It's the biggest global deposit in the world, so there's like literally
Mm,
nothing to like supplement it.
that's great. That's great. They
I
just
don't know if
want
you
to
know that.
watch it burn. No, they just want to watch it all burn. I hadn't heard that last part, but
Yeah.
it's only the next logical step, isn't it? You know,
Yeah. Yep.
it really feels like if I can't have you, nobody can. But
Well,
with the
yeah, they did
world,
that to Qatar because, something stupid happened. Israel just got pissed, and they did end up like a few fact gas extraction or whatever reserve area, but then somehow, some reason they did that to Qatar. I'm not too sure why. It's some sort of stupid Israel fucking reason. But now, like, you just fucked over everyone globally. And I'm like, yep, things get worse. Things get worse. Here we
yeah,
go.
yep. And then you
The
have what's
bad
left.
part of it is, though, is that they'll be people who are on top be fine with that. They'll just take it for themselves, what's left, and
Yeah,
leave us to rot and die off.
yeah,
So, just putting it out there, if anybody wants to go ahead and drone Trump and fucking the rest of the fucking cabinet of Israel, please do. I don't care if that's against the law somewhere. I don't care if it's hate speech. Get them. Get them, Iran. Just fucking get them.
oh, I mean, they're still trying to figure out who's in charge over there. So
Where?
I don't. In Iran? I don't know.
In Iran? No, they haven't. They've already elected someone. Hello? Hello? Okay, there. Oh, now I can't hear you. No, it's muted. I can't hear you at all. That's weird. Oh, I guess I'll have to say goodbye. I can't even understand what you're saying because it's all mute. No. That last sort of like cut in the signal really fucked up with my volume or my like whatever. That's weird. Hold on. No, nothing. I can't hear anything now. That's weird. It removed the volume, so I can't hear anything. It's just silent. It's on mute. So I guess I'll just inform you that they've already elected someone in that position. I think it was his son. But yeah, I guess we can't communicate anymore. Maybe it's something I said. No, I can't hear. So hold on. Oh.
I'm back. Hot
Oh, there you go.
damn. Hot damn.
There.
Hot damn.
Okay, there we go. We're back. Never mind. What the fuck happened?
My alarm went off to go get my kids, so that was an
Oh.
alarm for no reason, and then it decided that I didn't need to hear anything.
And neither do I. I thought maybe it was something to do with the fact I said go get him.
That was
YouTube was like,
amazing
yeah, you're off.
timing.
Cut your
That
fucking mic off.
that was amazing timing. But I think Scott's the only one who might be listening to us at this point. So,
Yeah, probably.
they said the last thing I heard was he had to go feed his cat. So,
What?
last I heard he was going to feed his cat, so even he may not be here.
Oh well. I mean, there's one person I see on that little screen, but
Yeah, true.
as I was saying, they've already elected someone in Iran. It was his son.
Okay. Oh
like,
yeah.
right away.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, get him.
Yeah. Oh. Like I say, I just hope we make it through Easter because then hopefully we can stop talking about the end of the world for a little while.
Yeah. I just can't wait to go camping.
When are you doing
Summer's
that?
coming up. Starting in June.
Okay.
Also, I might be gone for a bit in the beginning of July because I might be going on another little vacay.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm going to be probably flying over to Montreal for a few days.
Cool.
So, yeah. Woo.
Cool. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing in July. I need to go and, oh my God, sorry, I'm just so overwhelmed right now. The fact that it's spring break and I just spent 2 weeks having the flu. I haven't got anything done in 2 weeks, and now I get to be at home with everybody for another week, and I just want to I just want to bang my head against the wall. you know.
Yeah. No, I know. I've
Oh
actually been productive. I'm happy with like all the shit I'm doing to get everything ready for the summer for selling.
yeah, no, yeah. Being productive feels great, doesn't it?
Yeah. It helps me not like want to go mentally fucking overboard crazy because of what the state of the world. It's like just keep making mirrors. It's pretty.
Hey, yeah, whatever it is that makes you happy, you know,
Makes me
whatever.
like use as
Yeah,
a few like a pressure valve.
and it's like being in a good mood feels like an act of rebellion these days. So yeah,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
just not letting the stress get to you to where you just carry it around for them. You know, it feels like doing emotional labor for billionaires. And I just don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, burnout's a thing. Like, I know what burnout is. I've
Hmm.
had burnout.
Yeah, I think that's been my
And
problem actually.
being disheartened and burnout is hard to come back from.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's always good to have something that like you can like release stress on,
Your
but
outlet.
you also don't want to get distracted either
Yeah.
completely where you don't know what's going on in the real world that it's going to affect you and then you are blindsided by when shit happens.
Well, speaking for myself, that'll never happen to me because I've got you.
Yeah, there you go.
And the alarm's gonna go off again in 2 more minutes, just so you know. We may have to do it
Okay, yeah.
again.
Well, I think we're done. I think we're done for now. We can
Yeah,
figure out if we're
okay.
going to want to continue or not. I don't know. We can
Yeah,
make that decision later.
okay.
I'll let you get back to your day with your kids.
We have so much
And
to
I
do.
better get my shit in gear because I've got things I've got to do too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wish me luck. Hopefully I will. I have, watch this space. We're supposed to have a video premiere next week.
Yeah, okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Yay.
gonna be something. I have something half finished that I was working on
There.
through cold medicine last week, and I'm gonna go take a look at it and see what that's about. Yay.
Yeah. Get that cold, man. Get him. Get him, mom.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Oh my
All right.
god.
So thanks for everyone who's watching.
Yeah.
Now and maybe later, and we will do this again.
Yeah, so I'll be here next week. Then I'll
I'll
do it
be
with.
here next week. I'll try to be here next week. I don't
Okay.
see why I wouldn't be. I'm
Okay.
always here. I'm always around.
All right. So we'll just be hanging out and doing. I don't think we're doing reading next week unless you really want to.
Well, yeah, we can think about it and then get back to each other and
Okay.
after, like beforehand, and see what we feel like.
Yeah, well, let's stew on it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll
I
stew
think I
on it.
might go back and listen to this. I do that sometimes.
That's okay.
Yeah. So then I know what the fuck is because I didn't get a chance to hear every detail that you said, unfortunately.
Yeah, it happens. Especially when I rant.
Did it happen this time? Can I still hear
Yeah,
you? Oh,
I can hear
good.
you out still though. But
That's
that
great.
probably means that you have to go with your kids because it's an alarm for a reason.
No, it's the alarm to go pick him up from school where he isn't today.
Oh,
So
oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. It's just an alarm for no reason.
The alarm for no reason, just to
Hey,
cut me off.
Scott loves your nails. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah.
I can't see because it's still not coming up. Anything in chats is not there.
We're
For me.
just the beauteous. I've got the hair and you've got the nails, and we're just he's having a great day today.
Let's see if I can show you off a little bit.
Ooh, those are good. I don't know how you do anything.
You get
I would
used
love.
to it to a point where you don't know how to do things without it. Like I
Wow.
pick things up with it, and I've managed to work around it before that. Now it feels weird. I do not like the feelings of
Oh,
things touching my fingertips, like that sensation. Like it's like nails on a chalkboard.
wow. See, I can't stand having like the extra weight on my fingertips. Drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
not
have really
being able to
stubby,
touch
short
things.
fingers. They look like sausages, small sausages, and
Like
I don't like that.
same. I don't know, girl.
And
To each her own.
yeah.
I also be digging in the dirt a lot, so I would
Well, I
just
do too,
break
but I have
them.
gloves.
Mm.
Because I remember I'm going out in the backyard and doing all that yard work around the park, trying to get rid of the invasive species of
Yeah.
plants. Yeah, so
It
I've been
didn't
doing
even
that
occur to
too.
me to ask you how you protect your pretty nails while you do that. That didn't
It's
even
just
occur to
gloves.
me. Yeah,
But
that
I
makes
got a new
sense.
Dremel tool, by the way, so now I can like
Ooh,
do carvings and stones and stuff like that. So I'm going to be doing
that,
that too as well. I added that to my lapidary work. Um,
yeah. Are you going to be selling stuff like that, or just?
well, I haven't used it all yet. I'm waiting for some more drill bits because it didn't come with it.
Mm,
I had to get
oh,
specialized diamondback burrs and polishing pads that have a
okay.
particular amount of aluminum oxide for the polish. So when I get that, I am going to try using that out, but it's mostly for the bigger pieces that I can't put in my tumbler. Right? I don't know if I'd be able to
Mm,
carve anything really nice, but maybe I'll try doing a little bit like hearts or nothing too fancy. See if I'm any good at it.
okay. So mainly for polishing big pieces, but that's still really cool.
Yeah, so I've got that going on too, so I can like infuse that into my mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still doing my mirrors. I've got more already done. I'm really trying to work on that a lot, so that's taken up a lot of the time because I really need to
Yeah.
get a lot done if I want to be selling it for summer.
Right. Yeah. Got to build up that inventory, right?
Yeah, and I've already sold 3, right? So I need
Well,
to,
that's awesome.
yeah, need to make it back. Keep going, and it's a meticulous work. Especially like with some stones. Like right now, I'm almost done my mirror, but it's taking a little bit longer at the end because I'm using a lot of labradorite pieces, chips, and so I want it to be able to actually
Mm,
shine. I have to go through every one, put it in a certain way when I'm doing my mosaic work with it to make sure that there's a
hmm.
sheen to it, and that takes a long
Yep.
time because I can only do it at a certain amount of time of day when the sun's out because the light on my ceiling, whatever, is so shit.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so that's what I've been doing, like working on it. And I'm almost done that last one, but it's a huge mirror, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, wow. That sounds so beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining them as almost like fish scales.
Yeah, kind of like fish scales. I've
Yeah.
yeah, there's labradorite in there, there's clear quartz, I've got sage
Ooh.
moonstone, I've got red aventurine, I've got alanthosite, which is
Sage
great.
moonstone? What the hell is that? Is it green?
Yeah, here, I'll show you what a sage
Cool.
moonstone is, not from the mirror, but I've got an actual spear of it. Hold on.
Okay, a spear of it. Huh, damn. Okay. Crystal lady over here.
This is a sage
Oh,
moonstone. See, it has a shine.
that's gorgeous.
I've got a lot of different crystals, remember?
I know. I know. Do you expect me to never not go, oh, that's gorgeous? Like, obviously.
Yeah, so I've got a mini sphere on the mirror, right? So it's a much smaller one, about
Ooh,
that big.
okay, yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, so I've got a
Oh,
lot
a
of
stray dog. Oh, no. Bark at him, Duncan. Good boy.
anyway, so yeah, so that's what that sage moonstone. It only comes out of Tanzania, and it's more rare than the regular ones. There's different varieties, right? Of moonstone, sunstone stuff.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is this is what's known as sage moonstone or silky moonstone.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Scott says his girlfriend has a lot of different kinds of nail polish.
But they also have alanthosite, which if you don't know what it is, serpentine and stitchite to go along with it as well. So there's that.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Just wait for a sec. This and I'll grab the aventurine so you know what they look like. I don't know if you know what red aventurine looks like either. So hold on. So this is red aventurine, right?
Holy cow, yeah.
So I've got a little bit of a small mini sphere of it on my mirror, but this is just a tower that's mine in my collection. And then this is what alanthosite is. It's serpentine and stitchite. And it actually has such buoyancy. So it actually shimmers the purple part, which is the
Yeah.
stitchite. So it actually like moves, looks like it's moving.
Oh,
It just might not be able to see that really properly on camera. See the color
a little
changes?
bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
A
so the
little
color
bit.
changes on the stitchite. So I've got a little tiny palm on that
Wow.
mirror as well. But this is my own
Yeah.
personal thing. Anyways, teaching you about
Gorgeous.
crystals because I bet you haven't watched a single video of mine on my channel.
No, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm barely keeping up with my shit this month. Oh my
Right?
god.
I understand.
And I feel like I still sound sick, don't I?
Yeah, a little bit.
I still don't. I still don't sound like I'm quite because I'm still not quite. And oh my god, I'm so ready to be over this shit. I took my kid and had him tested, so I know that it's flu B. But if somebody had told me this was COVID, I would have believed it. Because
Yeah.
I just oh my god, I feel like shit. Does she have any ringwoodite? I don't know. Do you have any
Any of what?
ringwoodite? Do you have any
Ringwoodite? I've
ringwoodite?
never even heard of that. What is ringwoodite?
I don't know. Scott, what's ringwoodite? Inquiring minds want to know. And
Which
then
is
I've
crazy
got
because
to
I
get off
have a
of here,
lot of
y'all.
different things, but I've
Oh my
never
god.
even heard of that.
Although I will say, this is reminding me of the old days when I used to just hang out and chat with people. It's fun.
Do you know what ringdite is, Scott? Is he actually seeing what's he's saying? So that's interesting. It sounds like a disease, like the cat
It
has
does.
ringworm.
It does. It sounds like ringworm.
Yeah.
Oh, good. There's a stray dog in our yard.
Oh well,
Yeah. Um,
I've got some really rare stuff like tarbutites.
ringwoodite is a high pressure magnesium silicate mineral found 410 to 660 kilometers deep in Earth's mantle, crucial for storing massive amounts of water in its crystal structure. It acts as a deep mantle. End of the sentence. Cut off in the middle of the sentence. So, did that make
You
sense
mean
to you?
magnesium quartz? Like, is it in quartz? Because it says silicate, right? It's called magnesium quartz. That's what I just call that.
They explain it in the 2008 movie Journey to the Center of the Earth. Oh my
Oh,
God. We're
it's
speaking of
probably
classic
magnesium
movies.
quartz. I've never heard anyone say anything about ringwormite, but
No, me neither. Speaking of books, movies made from classic books. The movie with Dee Dee Pfeiffer in it. I
I do
don't
have
even know who Dee
cellulite.
Dee
Oh, I've
Pfeiffer
got
is.
vivianite, which is what grows on corpses.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're telling us about that one. Creepy shit.
I've
Creepy shit. I love
I've
it.
got a bunch of rare shit. Here, I'll show you my dark tarbutite, which is interesting. This is my tarbutite. It's not the best uh, lighting here, but this is tarbutite. It's like little fans. It's my specimen.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. It would look better if there was more light, but there's no lights. Maybe if I shine it over here. maybe. I don't know.
Very shiny.
Oh, it's very crystally. This is very, very rare. I also have a cellulite. Hold on. Which is also extremely rare. It's the dark blue. It's on with hemimorphite. It's the light blue. The dark blue is the cellulite.
Very pretty. It's the version where an all-women team accidentally gets teleported deep under the earth, and one of them finds the ringwoodite.
I think maybe they made that up.
They get teleported. Like I feel like teleportation is not part of the original. Yeah. I haven't read that book, but I feel like Jules Verne did not incorporate teleportation into it. Like that was.
I'll show you something really pretty. My celestite. Look at that. Ooh. Pretty. And sulfur.
Ooh.
See all those crystals?
Mm.
Yeah.
Very nice. I gotta go. It's after 3:00. I gotta go. They meet dinosaurs and meat
Now I'm just
fighters.
like showing you all my crystal collector. Like, yeah.
No. Like seriously, I'm looking at that clock and I just feel bad.
No, I know. It's all
We've
good.
been over here for almost 3 hours.
And you can always just go to my channel to look when you actually do want to look.
Well, and it's the kind of thing where if I were in the room with you, try and stop me. because I could pick them up and like candle them and stuff. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, you're not allowed to touch my crystals.
Okay, fine.
Well, not all of them, but like something like this, no. No, just my hands touch that. My specimens, no way. No, you're not allowed. Not the specimens.
Okay.
But
It's
any
3
card,
p.m. Yeah.
okay. Come
Yeah,
on.
I know. It's only noon where you are, but I have like an hour to get to the library before they close.
Yep. So we'll talk about what we want to do for next time, and we'll watch your video that you produce.
Yeah. I
It'll
can't.
be fun.
And thank you for humoring me about the genre and everything. That was so.
That's fun. I'm just glad that I was able to get a hold of you because I wasn't too sure what this was happening today.
Yeah, that's why I keep an eye on my stuff, and I'm glad I do. Holy cow!
Right, when it counts, when it counts. All right.
Yeah,
I will then
Canadian
let
cat
you
who
go,
keeps
and
crossing
I'll
the
see
border into the
everyone
U.S.
later.
Yeah. All right, honey. Thank you so much for doing the
Yeah.
reading, and we'll figure out what we're doing one way
Yeah.
or another.
Bye, Scott. Bye, anyone else who's watching, and bye.
Yep. Bye,
You've got pretty
honey.
nails. See
I
ya.
feel like this is about to be. What's the punchline of the joke, Scott? You don't have to stay, but I was gonna stay for
Okay,
the
yeah, I gotta
punchline of
go.
the joke.
I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Have a good one, honey. Bye. So no, I didn't. Who keeps crossing into the border into the U.S. Is this a joke? Is there a punchline to this? Because now I'm invested. Um, and then I'm going to the library. I'm gonna take that boy, and I wish I could ask you guys for like middle grade reading recommendations, but I feel like the person who might have had any hope for me there just left the chat. So it's a real news story. Okay. So no, I did not hear about that. And I don't want to cut you off and be rude, but so what, why does he do that? Is there like is it what's the why would he do that? The cat is in Baleen, Washington. Okay. And that's just his roaming territory. He hunts for food on the US side. Oh, okay. And then goes home to the Canadian side? Are there like more birds on the US side or something? Blaine, Washington. Okay. Not Baleen? Okay, whatever. Oh my gosh. Whatever. You guys witnessed something today, you know that? Because I figured out my genre and this is so important. Yes, that's the cat's territory. Okay. Well, my phone has just let me know that my battery is dying. So I am going to have to let you go. But thank you for the tidbit about the cat. We like cats here. Look at the puppy. He's just laying there. He's just hanging out. Oh, to be a puppy. So, hang in there, Sky. Stay cool, man. We'll see you next week, okay? Bye for now.